charter. They want to obliterate it. It's not going to give in to anyone.
Oh, there is this thing called charter?
Even
What is a charter? I don't speak English very good, that's why I'm just speaking. Trying to perfect and try to practice my English.
Still, they want to erase us from this land and this world.
Right.
And we don't want to let them. Period.
That's their charter, and that's their goal. There's not room for them to think about peace. That's not. They've been very clear about that.
Also, they can't bring out food, right?
We can't hear you, BB. Come closer to the mic if you can.
They can't pronounce P. They wouldn't be able to even pronounce peace. It would be beast with a B.
Like pizza?
Yeah,
Pizza?
Yeah, like the people. The people instead of people. The pizza, exactly. That's so that they don't want nothing to do with the word P, with the letter P.
It's so interesting that below they're putting their comments, and it's all filled with hate. And we haven't been talking about hate.
Yes, and they're jumping from one subject to another. They cannot stick with one fact.
Yeah, and it's trope. It's just.
Wait, why are they in the audience and not? Were they moved or did they move down?
Well, I just see them talking in the message. I just see them talking in the message.
Well, Zach, they moved that down, so I mean.
Why was Bev silenced?
Bev is a actor.
You can bring him back up. You can bring her back up. Baby, you want to bring Bev back up? I'm not bringing her back up.
I send her an invitation, and if she's coming up, if you are asking the question, let the guy that's answering you to answer, and then continue to talk. Don't interfere in the middle. That's not nice. And I hope my English was okay this time.
Your English is fine, Shlomi.
It seems like maybe now Bev does not want to come up. I had a question for Bev.
Well, let's try to get her up and invite her. We have been.
I don't know, she told me to shut the fuck up. She's silencing me.
I'm now the center of her universe.
I mean, if you're going to add Bev, maybe you can add her, compliment her. I mean, he's wearing to her Sire Carter as well. It would be an interesting conversation to have.
Hasn't someone on stage invited her? BB, you want to invite her?
The chatting on Clubhouse is wild.
I just invited her.
you're not going to play games. Okay, that's great. But if either you come up or you fuck off.
I think maybe she cannot answer the questions. That's why she doesn't want to come up and talk.
She's basically illiterate.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, she's primal. She's playing a primal game, thinking it's legitimate because that's how her life works.
I'd like to ask Bev a question.
Just no respect.
I mean, they're just trolling and laughing. 1 minute they feel sorry for what they call genocide, and 1 minute they're laughing. I mean, that only a psychopath can do that.
I think subconsciously they want to be scolded. They want permission to be good. But I think the forces in there that are much stronger than any good they can learn here.
Actually, Grace said I'm inviting her up. Didn't you say that, Grace, or did you say?
I said I'll invite you up. Come on back.
I think
I invited
think
her also.
she's received an
She
invitation. So.
didn't.
If she doesn't join right now, I think then she has no point to make. I think that would be an answer for herself.
We don't care. Let's move on. She's not a subject.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's why, yeah, we've saved ourselves. No gossiping. We're just asking you to come up. That's what the people wanted here, and they were happy to engage with you.
Somebody just said that I have an American accent, and that was interesting. Like, say the reverse psychology is weak in your American accent. I can't even understand that sentence, but I think they wanted to say that is as weak as your American accent. Well, bro, I'm not an American, so English is not my native language. So I'm sorry for weak as American accent.
I hope you get the love that you seek.
They're just playing games. I mean, it's.
Well, that we knew that
okay.
from before. That's why it wasn't necessary for them to be.
She's probably all right now feeling so wanted.
I mean, the best action is to stop responding to them. I mean, it's interesting. The topic is about radical Islam, and when people come here, I think the first thing they see is Israel's flag behind Bibi, and they assume this is a matter of Palestine and Israel. They don't even read the topic of the room, like Islam. No, it's not about Palestine or Israel, it's about Islam. So, what do you guys think about the topic?
Can you please stop recording my room? I'd appreciate it very much. please stop recording my room. I would appreciate it so very much. Why do you keep recording my room? I politely asked you not to, but you keep
Harry,
coming
BB
back
still
to
here,
record my room about nothing.
Okay. Do you have a suggestion of how to move the room?
Well, yeah, it's the same topic. I think it's common on. If you notice a lot of these people that are supporting the Palestinian movement are radical.
We can't really hear you. Is that BB? We can't really hear you. I'm sorry.
Baby, you sound like you're talking into a vacuum cleaner, bro.
Oh, JB is here. Okay, JB.
I got like 58 different bands. I think you remember to fucking cut the grass. So I'm on a track. Okay. I turned off the trucker in the middle of it. I know when we do open these rooms and topics, when you do hear the people that are speaking, whether they sound white, Somali, Indian, Pakistani, from the UK, they have one common denominator. We're all radical Muslims. And Sire, he needed 5 minutes to come up, so it's been, I think, 9. Come on up, Sire. 10 toes down, buddy. Stand there. Say what you gotta say.
Yes, sire. Say what you gotta say.
Pulling into the driveway.
He's on the stage.
Oh, is he? Oh, say what you gotta say, bud. You've been like, well, we all keyboard warrior. So, what's up?
Can I go to your tone?
Okay, everybody, this is Canada and John Kitover. This is the BB and Harry and the Chosen Ones with BB, Aleph, Grace, Harry,
They are like a cowardly
Mary,
bunch.
Jihadis, Simon, Yakov, Shlomi, Maximilian, my friend in RS. Hope you enjoy. I'm going to go sit in the other room, get some sun tanning done. Hope they don't play any copy.
Guys, it's a little trick you guys do when you ask after I say what I'm saying. I just want the direct question answered.
What kind of car do you drive?
So you are saying there's no genocide whatsoever, and they are lying. The UN is completely lying, 100%. That's my only question.
Yes, they're lying. Period.
Yes, they're lying.
Fuck the UN.
That's it.
Well, wait a minute. Was it the UN or was it some little committee? And who was on the committee? I don't know if the UN officially came out and said.
Here comes the spin. Go ahead.
Well,
Let me see the
no,
spin
I think
moves.
you're doing the spin, and I'm trying to. I'm asking for the narrative without
My
spin.
friend, don't ask anything, my friend. We told you straight up. For us, it's a lie because it's not a genocide. And if you go and see what is a genocide, then you will check on the ground what is real, and don't believe the media. Check by yourself. You will say that we are telling the truth. That's it.
Okay, so maybe not a genocide, but what would you categorize the wrong findings of the UN as?
Misinformation. And also, there's a lot of money behind
isolating Israel because they
Yeah, I would say.
they are putting us in a place and demanding us things that they are not demanding themselves either. Because if they were in a war, I don't think they will do what we are doing for the community inside of Gaza, preventing injury or anything else. We are fucking calling them and tell them evacuate because we're gonna bomb, and they're fucking putting a camera and waiting for the rocket to hit. How the fuck where exactly we're gonna bomb in the same minute so they can picture it from every angle that they can make? How the hell they know? And if they know,
Understand that.
still,
Okay.
and then wait, then let me finish. And if after they know that we're gonna bomb the place and they are picturing it, yeah, making films of it, and there are still children around that place, it's not on us, my friend. It's on them. Take the children out. Like, what the fuck? We are warning you. We are coming to ban that place, and there are still children there. So it's not on me, and it's not on Israel. It's on those people that didn't take the children out.
So before you answer Sire, so I'm going to jump in and speak for, not for Sire, on behalf of him for a second. So you got to understand, guys. Imagine you're a gentleman like Sire, and you're opening up the news, and that's what you see. The UN's reporting, right? The problem is, Sire, what you have to understand is, not everything we read is true.
I understand that. Well, what I'm saying is also, can we also name one time in war where both sides didn't do anything wrong, ever in history?
Oh, listen, and Shlomi can say and agree with it, and so can Aleph, right? They're both Israelis. And especially Shlomi, that was a hostage. We had a room the other day, and he says, I do, but I want my hostages, my brothers and sisters back first. I want to know. And I think we're the first to admit, not every country's perfect, right? The problem is, everybody from the outside lens, and everybody that being Jews in Israel, especially Israeli citizens and Israelis, like that are even on stages and clubhouses, you guys expect you guys expect them to be perfect, to not make one mistake, not step on a crack when they're walking down the road. Anything. Mistakes happen. That's part of life, brother. You can understand that.
And I feel like the outside world has a problem when you guys, like, you just said it, and you said it easily. It came out without forcing it. Like, you got the logic that I was trying to put out. What the world has a problem with is the defending of the times when you guys are caught in the wrong, and then the denial. That's the problem.
Well, some of the accusations aren't true. When the accusations are true, there's an admission of guilt, and people say Israel isn't perfect, but sometimes the accusations that you're making are not true. And so we want to look at the accusations.
Like famine in Gaza. It's not true, my friend. They have chocolate, they have everything there. It's not my problem that their own people, Hamas people, are selling it in high prices.
Getting shot at?
It's supposed to be for free. It's aid that people need to get it for free, not to buy it with money. So if Hamas are selling it with money, for money, it's not my problem. I provided the healthcare, I provided the food, I provided Coca-Cola, I provided chocolates, and you can see videos. They are posting it themselves. I don't need to lie or to go and make a video and post it, or to do an AI or whatever. They are posting it. So if
those videos we're seeing is AI and it's lies. That goes to the point that I'm talking.
No, I didn't say that.
No, not all of them.
No, wait.
Some of them.
Stop.
Man, here it stays.
Stop, my friend.
That Time magazine.
I didn't say that everything is AI, and I didn't say anything about them. I didn't say anything about them create AI. I said we don't need to do an AI for it. We own that. They are posting that themselves. You can see it on social media everywhere. We are not doing it. They themselves are posting it. So I said we don't need AI to make lies. Okay? To try to store that we are okay. They are posting the videos. We are providing the healthcare. But in the end, Hamas is controlling the healthcare and selling those things to the people, to their own people, in high prices. And that's not my problem anymore. Why I need to take care of until the last person that I'm in war with, if he got his food or not? This is not my problem, my friend. I'm sorry. And I don't need to explain to you.
Yeah, it's not your problem. Just like you being whoever got kidnapped isn't the other side's problem. Like, I understand that.
It's not because I was kidnapped. It's not my problem as a citizen of Israel, and it doesn't matter if I was kidnapped or not. I don't need to take care of someone that I'm in war with. I don't think that you will think that you need to take care of somebody that is in war with you.
That's simple.
To take care of the last person that you will eat. You are doing the best that you can do, providing what they need to take. We are providing the water. We are providing the electricity for the water and for the hospitals and for all of this. Yes, we are providing, even during war, for those people. And we are putting aid from all the countries that are coming. And in the end, people are blaming us. There is a famine there. Which famine, my friend? I was there 8 months. They were eating like pigs.
What Israel having the intelligence that they have, right? What's preventing them from going in exactly where they think these people are and then just taking them out?
The hostages that are still there, the 21 that I hope that are still alive.
And also the fact as well that what's stopping Israel actually going to get these hostages is that they're being used as human shields. It is widely thought that these hostages are all wired now with explosives, which basically means that as soon as somebody comes near them, they're going to kill them.
Well, if people are going to die anyway, why not just get it over with?
That's what we are going in. We are trying to do the best to make a military pressure so they will give up their weapons. And if not, we are all in, my friend. The government decided, the cabinet of Israel decided that they are going all in. If we're going to lose, we're going to lose. Anyway, we are losing people from the military that are engaging in a battle every day there. So let's make these losses something that we will win this war, and this losses will mean something. Because if we're gonna stop now, for us it's losing the war, and it's not gonna happen this time. They are not gonna stop.
So you guys were just hypothetical. No one can know. Say in you guys' perfect world, the war is won. What happens to all the people? What do you think should happen to all the kids, the women, the men?
I hope that they will stop. I hope that they will stop thinking that they.
I'm saying afterwards.
Yeah. I hope that they will change their set of mind. That Israel is not a country and they don't acknowledge us, and they will acknowledge us. And I promise you, my friend, we are the ones that are gonna build Gaza again for those people also. The UN will make us do the best thing that they know to do, to make us do things, and they will inform us so that we are gonna build them. Those assets that we ruined, and we're gonna build their future. But they need to change their set of mind, my friend. I don't care to live with.
The part that I just struggle with is like black people. We went through whatever the fuck we went. The world blames us. Why? What do you think the reason is behind the world always blaming you guys for sneaky stuff? What do you think that comes from?
You wanna know personally what I think? I think it's come from jealousy. Only jealousy, my friend.
I think people are
fucking almost fucking 5,000 years that we are in this world as Jew, as Bnei Israel, as Israeli people. And this is why we call Israel. Israel was Jacob, Bnei Israel. We are the final, the last, how do you call it, Shevet. So, yeah, so...
But from my perspective, like, I understand why people hate blacks because we're in slavery, blah, 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 3/5, all that other dumb shit that people thought, right? But, like, you guys were free for the most part. So I'm trying to understand how did you guys work yourself? No, not free. No, freer than black people. I'll put it like that. My free and your free is two different types of free.
Yeah.
I don't think it's I
agree with you. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think there's a comparison. I don't think
You cannot compare. It's
you
not
can't
the same.
compare it. It's two very different things. You got to remember as well that we're going back a long, long way. The Jews were slaves in Egypt, and again, I'm not trying to make a comparison, Sarah, because the black people have gone through terrible times.
Well, even when we talk about that, they said they went into captivity through ships and all that other stuff, but we know who the scriptures line up with.
Yeah, but just. There was something you said before. Actually, I'm trying to remember what it said. You said, or you were asking something. I think Shlomi summed it up though by saying that. Oh, actually, here it is. Suddenly, I do remember something that people don't remember or don't pay attention to, and actually don't give it enough attention, is the fact that Egypt has a common border with the Gaza Strip. The Egyptian border has been fortified since October 7, much more than the Israeli border with Gaza Strip. The Egyptians are their brothers and their sisters. They share the same codes, the same values, the same religion. So many of the Gazans are Egyptians. Why has Egypt not opened their border? Why in October 8, before Israel started their operations in the Gaza Strip, why didn't Egypt say, we're going to open the border, we want all the women and children to come through the border. We're going to set up a humanitarian zone for them in the Sinai, close to Gaza. You'll be able to go home soon enough. We'll provide for you. And Israel has to take care of this. But they have done nothing. You know why they've done nothing? And you know why Jordan refuses to take, even though they don't share a common border with the Gaza Strip? It is because the idea of holding on to this conflict in perpetuality is in their best interest. They want this to happen. They want this to continue. They want this problem to be a thorn in Israel's side. They have since the start of the real problems with the Palestinians since 1967. They have started this. You've got to remember as well, Sarah, that before 1967, there was no claim for a Palestinian state. They had no aspirations for a state. And when we talk about the West Bank, you call it the West Bank, we call it Judea and Samaria. It was called the West Bank because it was the West Bank of the River Jordan. When Jordan occupied it from 1948 to 1967, they referred to it as the West Bank. And also, in addition to that, any Arabs that tell you they were thrown out of Shechem, the Arabs call it Nablus, we call it Shechem, and other cities in the West Bank, that's also not true. It just didn't happen. The people that did throw them out, the people that just came up with this idea that they had to leave, is because they maybe wanted to leave. The Jordanians were occupying that territory, not the IDF, not Israel, not anybody but Jordan. They occupied those territories. And these are just facts.
Okay, so I understand you saying like they're not claiming a state or whatever, and that's fine. Were the people there before all of that, though?
There were people there, and there were Jews also in the region, and there were Jews always in the land of Israel. Yeah, they were a minority, like you can count them up on the
Jewish people being in Israel after like the 1940s, like in the 1940s era? Was that where like the most of them came over?
No, like the first time that the Jews came, like to make this country what it is today, it was in 1880 something, and then slowly more Jews started to come and build the country, and then a lot of Arab from a lot of nations around saw what's happening and moved into the country, and it was cut for everyone in the way that Egypt got what Egypt got, Jordan got what Jordan got, Syria got what Syria got, Lebanon got what she got, and we got a small part in 48 for the Jewish people, a small land, a small piece of it, not including not Judea and Samaria, not the Gaza Strip, not even the southeast city of today's Israelis a lot, not it, but suddenly it wasn't good for the people, and they attacked us. And when you are conquering and losing the people, and blood is on the ground after people are attacking you, we will take the land and you don't care. That's it. This is war. It was in history and it is until today. And we took the land and we're going to live on it because they attacked us, and this is what you wanted and this is what you got.
The land that's in conflict today is the part that you guys took after having only a small piece that you ended up conquering and getting at war. That's what you're saying. So the part that they're at.
Took is a tough word. When you win a defensive war, when someone attacks you, international law, and you win the battle, you win the war.
We're playing semantics. And by winning, you take. So what are we talking about?
No, you don't take. It's yours. It's justified. Taking has the connotation of robbing.
A war where the conquerors let them have their stuff or let them have their land and didn't take it?
No, that's conquering. That's an offensive war. We're talking a defensive war.
Yeah, we didn't come and conquer them because we wanted
defensive wars in history that they let the people keep their land ever and ever and ever.
Well, take a look at Bolivia. Take a look at look at the map of Bolivia. Bolivia is landlocked. Bolivia used to have a port on the Pacific Ocean. They attacked Chile. Chile fought a defensive war. They conquered the land. Bolivia is now landlocked. Also, Germany lost its eastern provinces after World War II. They lost a lot of land that became parts of Poland and parts of Russia. So yeah, there's many, and lost the Kuril Islands to Russia. There are many examples of this.
Do you blame them for fighting for something that they think that they lost? Or is it just fuck each side, we're both doing what the fuck we gotta do to get to where we need to be?
No, we don't blame them in anything. Instead, the one thing that they wanted demolish us and erase us from this land. My friend, we don't care for them to live there, but we want to live in peace and not every other day to get missiles, and not every other day maybe they will do a 7th of October and kidnap people. It's civilians, not army. If you tell me that they took army people as a war, how do you call it?
Prisoner of war.
The prisoner of war, I will tell you, okay, my friend. That seems reasonable because it's war, but coming into private houses of citizens in my country, murdering people, taking some of them hostages, burning them alive in their homes. And then we are coming to try to take our people back and protect our country and erase this threat and this danger, security danger from us once and for all. They start to cry because they wanted it, they got it. For 20 years, my friend, we are getting rockets from the Gaza Strip. And because we don't have any interest in that land, we didn't go in and try to conquer it and take the weapons that they have. We invented the Iron Dome, that is canceling the threat because it's bombing the missiles that they are shooting already in the air. It's a 95% of success. Sometimes it falls. And for 20 years, we were in quiet, defending ourselves, eating those rockets, thousands of rockets, because we don't have any interest in that land that they live in. It's called Gaza Strip. We don't want it. And because we don't want it, we don't want to put soldiers inside that will die for it's not a cause because we don't want it. But
Hey, Swami.
eventually 7th of October happened.
Do with the Africa.
I think that's a good reason to come in and try to take 250 hostages back home.
Hey, Shlomi, you know you have the same exact name as one of the hostages.
Again?
You have the same exact name as one of the hostages.
I am the hostage. I am the guy.
You're speaking.
You're him?
Yes, he is him.
Yes.
Oh my God. Okay, I'm honored. I'm gonna follow you. I'm so honored.
I'm he.
Shlomi, I'm always, just 1 second, it'll take me. Shlomi, I'm always just so appreciative of your voice in here and your sensitivity and understanding. And we just, each time I hear you speak, it's a joy to listen to you and to tell your truth and to be so amazing with every word that you said, and kol hakavod to you. Each time my heart just goes to you. Kol hakavod.
My question is, Sire, after hearing from Shlomi and some of the other people on the do you look at it differently, or do you understand, I should say, even, do you understand the conflict a little bit better?
No, I understand you guys' perspective better, but I also, it's just the part that I brought up earlier of never wanting to admit the wrongdoings. He got on here, he didn't sugarcoat shit. He said exactly what I was saying, and without trying to paint the innocent, 100% innocent type look. So I respect that.
You know, nothing, Sarah, just something I do want to say to you. First of all, you've been extremely respectful. This is a conversation with people like you that we can have. Somebody that wants to listen, somebody that wants to learn, somebody that has an open mind to be able to absorb things that people are saying to the big, well done. I appreciate you, Sarah, and I thank you for being here. And I would agree with the sentiment that you just said as well. Look, Israel is not a perfect country. The government is not perfect. We make mistakes, and it is okay to, as the Israeli government, it's a democratically elected government, and it's okay to criticize.
Especially if they're trying to step in with us, trying to take away passports and shit, or that I don't like other countries having influence over us. And that's my main.
Can you expand upon it?
Again, my friend, I didn't
Fire jobs. They're trying to write certain laws into not speaking against Israel. They have you can't ban Israel goods and all that other stuff. Like, if we as a country should be able to make decisions for us without having to think about.
Those are Americans lobbying the government. These are not foreign governments lobbying. It's illegal for them to do that. These are
yes, but why are they lobbying? They're lobbying because they have relationships with those countries, right? So even indirectly, it's still influence.
They believe that what's good for Israel is good for the United States, and they want to foster that relationship. And there is no law even being contemplated. You mentioned talking poorly or something. I'm paraphrasing about Israel. There's no such law being proposed in the United States Senate or Congress.
There is no law. I think we are cooperating in a strategy that both countries.
Law has to be passed. I understand that. They're lobbying, like you said beforehand, to put things law.
Sorry, my friend, I don't understand you, what you're trying to say.
We work very hard in making sure that we have relationships with, democratic states and freedom of countries. So we're working not just with Israel, but we work with many countries throughout the world to make sure that democracy stands clear in the world.
Shlomo, we were talking about lobbying by AIPAC. And AIPAC is a very small lobby compared to the oil industry, compared to the you name it industry. They pale in comparison to many other lobbying groups.
Like why we are lobbying ourselves in America? I think mostly it's business, my friend, like making money between companies. Like 90% of it, and 10% of it is security and a strategy for the future.
You're right now. Give me 1 second.
I was just gonna ask, as far as what you've been through as a hostage, where do you go from here as far as getting yourself together? I would expect you'd never get through it, but if someone else was to hear your story and they're going through somewhat similar of what you're going through, how would you get over this as far as where you go from here now that you are indeed free?
Like how I heal myself, you mean?
Yes, mentally, I know it's not going to be an easy journey. I could only imagine what you're going through.
Listen, PTSD, it's a disease that there is no cure for it.
Right.
Like it's something for life. I have a tattoo also. It's an old tattoo. It's not because of captivity. It's something that happened when I was serving in the IDF in the second Intifada, like in 2002. It's so old. So PTSD is for life, and I live with it. That's what is my tattoo meaning. And I take all the, how do you say it, when I was in treatment, let's say 8 years ago, I got a lot of tools how to handle myself in life with the disease.
Right. Okay.
And in captivity, in real life, you use it in certain times that you have to use those, that sometimes you get triggered, or sometimes you are waiting in line and you don't have patience, and you work on yourself how to have patience and not lose your mind.
Right.
And those small things. And in captivity, you use it every minute, every second, because it's 24/7 of triggering things and a lot of things that you can understand that can put you in a place that you will maybe punch the guy because he punched you, because he wants to punch you now, because you're with the hostage, in his house, you are in chains, and he wants to give you a punch. And you need to work on yourself not to give a punch back or to say something, because you don't know how you will end this situation. So it's every second, and because I use those tools there, it's like it's planted inside. So today I came out very strong.
Does anybody have Scotty blocked? He's trying to come in. He would like to speak. Does anybody have Scotty?
I don't think
it has to be a mod, right?
Yeah, it has to be a mod that has him blocked. But real quick, the Bible speaks of our faith. When you were there, did you ever feel like you were losing your faith, or did you always, in the back of your mind, knew that God would release you?
I didn't lose faith, and I didn't ask God to release me. The only thing that I spoke with him, and the only thing that I said is we have the sentence sentence is Shema Israel, Adonai Elohim, Adonai Echad. It's listen, Israel. We have one God, the only God.
Right.
And in the Bible, we're supposed to say it in the morning and before we go to sleep. So I said this in the morning and before I go to sleep. And I said thank you every morning that I woke up and the house is still there and Israel didn't bomb it by mistake.
Right.
They don't know.
Right.
And when I went to sleep also, thank you that the day went through okay and I'm going to sleep now and nothing happened and I'm still alive. So it was always thank you and hope that someday I will go home.
So were you allowed to pray or was this something you had to kind of hide from them?
I did it, I did my prayers with myself in the morning and in the evening and I don't have the book and the tools to pray totally as a Jew like we do there. So I did my things. I don't think that they will say something if they will see me praying or something like that. I don't think that they will care.
Okay.
Eventually, I think they have respect for religion. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because they have their own religion. So.
Right. Yeah, I'm kind of non-denominational. I came from the Baptist faith, but I've always respected the laws of Moses, the Jewish faith, and things of that nature. So it was very interesting to hear that through your hardships, you were released. We're not going to say exactly free because I feel like we're all a part of the same conflict.
No, I was freed. Freed.
Yeah, but
because they came in and took me in an operation.
Right, and blessings to you, and I'm very happy that you've gotten able to. I would want to get
listen. The platform of the world today.
I personally would never have said that.
But did he deserve to die for that?
I don't even because
I didn't.
Yeah, I don't even believe in the death penalty, dude. So it's kind of like that's a no. But I'm saying the idea of, and don't get me wrong, I am not a liberal.
Why do people keep saying it though? Why do people keep bringing up this point?
Because people are telling other people that they're not supposed to.
No, you can feel how you want to feel about him as an individual. I think it's more prominently about the concept of a man who was shot dead. If you can't express at least some decorum and sympathy towards the fact that a human being was shot for what he said, I mean, that's where the problem is, because that's where you're opening up the door for more terrorism in whichever direction. You just got to kind of recognize that regardless of where you fall on the political spectrum, you can say whatever you want to say. Bad ideas should be beaten by better ideas. You shouldn't be out here shooting people. And as long as we can recognize that, irrespective of what you felt about what the man said.
Yeah, but but you're missing my point, right? My point is that a group of people did not shoot Charlie Kirk. One guy did.
We don't know that, Daryl. Hold on. We don't know that. And that's actually what's being investigated as we're speaking as to whether this was a whole group that had noticed and what the involvement was of the group he was in that channel with. We really don't know. And you don't know if there's accessories before the fact, accessories after the fact. You just don't know everyone that's implicated in it.
Hold on.
I just want to say one thing, Daryl.
Go ahead, Scott.
For the record, Charlie Kirk also said about someone who was assassinated, he was awful, not a good person. That person was Martin Luther King Jr. He said that December 2023 at an event hosted by Turning Point Political. So it said King, it was assassinated, it was awful and not a good person. So, he said that about people who were assassinated.
my thing is like, like I'm trying to use very specific words, right? I'm not talking about, a group of people who conspired and all. I'm saying one bullet, as far as we know right now, one bullet killed Charlie Kirk, and that one bullet was fired by one person, unless there were 15 hands on the rifle. So one person who we seem to believe is in custody is the one who fired the bullet that killed Charlie. It does not mean that to the people who Kirk may have offended or insulted or, made disparaging comments about, you can't tell people how to feel. Like if you had a neighbor, right? If you had a neighbor who always made noise or who just would tell you that, like come out of the house and piss on your lawn and turn your lawn yellow. And once something happens to your neighbor, you don't want that to happen to your neighbor. But, let's admit that human beings are human beings, and human beings dislike other human beings. It's not fair. This is just me. It's not fair to tell people what to think and feel, and just start taking stuff off the internet, because that is how conspiracies come to be. All of these sites that are now scrubbing all these like really nasty things that Charlie Kirk has said are being scrubbed from the internet, and I would personally like to know why. And I will say again, like I've said, hold on, for the past 2 days, before June, I had never heard of this guy. I had never even heard of him. I've got no dog in this race. It's funny what is happening, and what is happening is only going to lead to more anger on both sides. That's just my opinion.
I think Beaver came up, wanted to speak. Beaver, do you want to say something?
I'm wondering these nasty things. I don't have any problem with what you said about the pilot thing. If he's talking about the context of DEI, and if those programs were pushing people, I think it was all based on that presumption, like that hypothetical, if they're pushing people through that aren't qualified. And if I see a black pilot, I'm gonna wonder. That's a natural human thing to question.
But not everyone agrees, that Beaver, with the assumption that means the standard was lowered.
I guess you also
you have a flaw in your logic.
That there are black pilots, not only in commercial airlines, but there are pilots in the military. Black people fly all the time. So when you say it's a natural human thing to wonder if a black pilot...
No, you're misunderstanding what I said.
I'm not telling you what...
Can you let him just finish for a second and then jump in?
No, I think Kirk was saying if the standards are lowered based on DEI, then people will wonder, is this person qualified to fly me right now? And that in itself is a natural human thing to wonder. So I think things are being twisted, what he said. I think people are hearing words and phrases and then automatically saying, guy was a racist. He was a horrible person. But from everything that I've seen, all accounts are that he was a pretty good guy.
Just to piggyback, and then Daryl, if you want to jump on this, after the Harvard decision came out on affirmative action and all the evidence and the arguments came out, and you saw how some of these students were getting accepted versus other students, you take a pause and you think, okay, I used to pay a premium for a Harvard graduate because I knew they were the best and the brightest in the country. But now the best and the brightest in the country were not going there. That's not who they were educating. So if you're going to pay that premium, what are you getting on your premium? And that came out after that court case, that people were wondering, have these top universities wholesaled themselves in terms of the people that they're graduating, and are they graduating what had that extra premium you would pay for as an employer for the Harvard student. So what Beaver's talking about is one thing, but that definitely translated to law firms that were hiring out of Harvard Law. I mean, it just does. So whether you're hearing that or not, that part translated.
I want to make sure I understand. You're saying that the value of a Harvard law degree went down?
The value of a degree from the university went down when everyone heard the evidence on what their acceptance requirements were, and the idea that you got the best and the brightest in the country. You were not getting the best and the brightest in the country because they weren't accepting them. And that came out, if you followed that case and you followed the evidence that supported and why they won, you could see what came out statistically and what they showed evidentially as they were arguing that case. That's why would I pay an extra $100,000 a year in salary to what I think I'm getting the top in the country, and they weren't educating the top in the country. They wouldn't accept them.
Okay, I got it. I just wanted to
like it or not, Jane. That's
I'm not liking it or not. I want to understand what you were saying. Thank you.
Well,
That's it.
I'm hearing a bunch of ifs. You know, Beaver just said 3 ifs, right? Like, if it's based on DEI. Beaver, do you have any actual information on the pilot training programs for any major airline?
No, but that's not necessarily.
Okay, now hold on. So what you did was you went from a three if statement sewing words together, right? These are not people sewing words together. These are things that he said. If you're going to say that something is a if or maybe or possibility, and it's not based on any information that you actually have, maybe you should go research it and see if these major airlines went out and changed their pilot training programs for DEI, because then if not, you're not standing on solid ground with your assumption. That's all I'm saying.
No, listen to what I said. If DEI across the board in America, where people are lowering standards, whether it's pilots or not, whether it's the Harvard case that was brought before the Supreme Court, where the Asians were having higher scores and metrics and getting denied. So the broader conversation in America, if these things are happening, okay, if it happens, if people throw out pilot a lot, okay, if people are being pushed through, I'm not saying they are or not. I'm saying that's what he was saying. If these things, then a pilot, I'm going to wonder. If they're not there on merit, then am I in danger? I mean, it's just that basic concept.
By the way, the Asian thing, I mean, look, if we just, colleges aren't strict meritocracies, right? People without the highest GPAs get in all the time because they're in marching band, because they can play football. Because if we just went by grades, there would be no boys on campus. And girls that are heterosexual would have no one to date. There's DEIs for boys all the time because women want somebody to fuck that are straight. There's all kinds of stuff that colleges do, right, amongst qualified applicants to sort of make sure that the community is reflective of a certain kind of social environment. And it's interesting. I looked this up today for another conversation, but on the whole, college admission standards have gone down in the past 12 or 13 years for colleges in general. Elite colleges have gone up. Like Brown has gotten twice as selective over the past 10 years. And the Harvard admission rate is 3.8%. Okay, 3.8%. That's tougher. When I got into my doctorate program, PTS was one of the more competitive grad programs in the field. And they accepted 10%. 10% of the applicants got accepted into the program, 20 people a year. However it worked out, but it was a very selective program. 10% was seen. Harvard takes 3.8% of the applicants. That's extremely selective.
Scott, look at the evidence from the case. Look, don't blame the messenger here. I'm just telling you there was a fallout.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that.
About it. You can ask.
Abby, what I'm not saying, Abby,
okay.
I'm not denying, Abby, that somebody got into Harvard, right? That if they admitted 2,000 students, that they did not admit the 2,000 best objective test scores and grades. I would completely acknowledge that. So would Harvard. But that's what any college does, right? If it was a strict meritocracy, you'd have to not even look at names on applications.
Then go argue that with the hiring partners at the major. Yeah. I mean, again, don't kill the messenger. I'm just telling you that as a result of that case, it tainted the degree.
That may be the case. That may be the case. I mean, that may be the case. I don't know. I don't. There's people might look at that case and think, what's Harvard degree? Or I'm just saying, it's extremely difficult to get in. And universities aren't meritocracies. People, I mean, all Ivy Leagues have legacy students, right? People whose parents
they always had
mostly white students, right?
Well, I don't know. I mean, they always had legacy. You know, I mean, that exists. I have a kid who's an Ivy graduate. I can tell you the whole process and going through it. However, again, don't kill the messenger. When the evidence came out, it tainted it. So what Charlie, I was interesting how Beaver said that, because I haven't heard the recording. I'd like to hear it and hear his words. When did he say it? Where do I find it?
About Joe Biden. About Joe Biden should be
that one, and also the one.
Yeah, Abby, just Google Charlie Kirk, Joe Biden, death penalty. It'll come right up. It comes on video with captions.
Okay.
I mean, it's not hard to find. Yeah.
Anyway, Daryl, I understand what you're saying. And it's not that people have to like the message. Again, I think the message is the outrage of assassination. And that's got to be the message from both sides constantly and driven home.
If I can just address.
Go ahead, Arthur.
Beaver really quickly. Just about the pilots and the DEI. That's DEI is lowering the standard, expanding this who's getting interviewed. Simply, that's all it is. DEI is not lowering the standard. It's just making sure that more people get interviewed for the job.
Let's examine that from a critical thinking point of view really quickly, if I may. So you're saying that DEI only has to do with interviews and has nothing whatsoever to do with hiring. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. Hold on. Wait a minute, please. Wait. Hello. I'll give you a chance to respond. Do you have any evidence that says DEI only applies to interviews and does not apply to hiring? What evidence do you have, if any?
Well, how do you separate the two?
No, sir, if I may.
Question.
And you're not answering. Sir, you're not answering it. You're not answering the question. The question is very simple. It's really yes or no. Do you have any evidence? Now you can say, Steve, I don't have evidence, but this is what I think. Or Steve, I don't understand what evidence is. But your response was, how do you distinguish between the two?
If you want a link, I'll give you a link.
No, sir. I don't want it. Sir, the answer is, I don't want a link. I don't want to be, and you might not have been here a half hour ago when we were talking about Charlie Kirk having debate with college students, and they were constantly looking at their. I don't want to look at a link. I want to hear it from you.
Okay, what evidence would you like me to present to you?
I will answer that, sir. I will answer that, sir.
Steve, let me answer.
Sure.
Steve,
All I'm saying is, if yes, I can present evidence, I can say these things, but that's just me saying it. It's not facts to the table. But I can say yes, and then you can just accept that. Yes.
I'll rephrase my question. Can you bring any evidence to the table? No, can you bring any evidence to the table that says that DEI only applies to interviews and does not apply to hiring?
Yes. How would you like me to present that evidence to you, Steve?
English. Let's hear it. Give me your studies. Give me your studies. Give me your statistics. Give me your sites. Let's hear it.
So you want the websites? You want the papers? How would you like me to get it? Want to email it to you?
He wants you in a conversation to be able to quote the source.
Quote the source. Thank you. Quote the source. That's what I want. Quote the source.
Okay,
can you?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the actual source so I can quote it to you because I don't have it memorized, Steve. It's not how I operate. So I'm going to get the information. I'll come back in a moment and I'll present you the source.
That sounds great. Take your time. And what I want you to do is someone is speaking, wait till they finish, and then say, Steve, I've got my sources. I want to tell them to you now. And we'll go ahead and we'll put you right to the front. You got it.
I've been Googling. Can someone help me with this? I cannot find the clip.
Well, I found a description of what DEI.
No, the clip about Joe Biden. I can't find it anywhere.
Sorry.
Norm, you missed it. She was at. Somebody spoke about 5-10 minutes ago about Charlie Clerk saying that Joe Biden. What was? I forgot. Something horrific.
Daryl, were you the one that had it? The quote.
Yeah, I'm doing something right now. I'll come back in a second.
Okay, and then if you could give it to me, I can find it.
I read you what ChatGPT tells us the DEI's hiring requirements are.
No, well, you can, Norm, if you want, but what I was asking, Arthur came up and made a point that DEI only applies to interviews. It has nothing whatsoever to do with hiring. So if what you found on ChatGPT addresses that, where it specifically says that DEI does not apply to hiring and only applies to interviews, go.
It says the opposite.
Thank you, Norm. That's what I thought.
So here are the key principles of DEI hiring. Diversity, actively seek out and hire individuals from various backgrounds, including different genders, ages, races, socioeconomic statuses, sexual orientations, and abilities. Equity, ensure that the hiring process provides fair access to opportunities for all candidates, regardless of their background. Inclusion, cultivate a welcoming and supportive company culture where all employees feel valued and respected, creating an environment where their unique perspectives are encouraged. Then there's a whole list of practical DEI hiring strategies.
Thank you, Norm. And by the way, I gave Arthur.
Well, then there's constant checking of, there's constant, I don't want to use their words, but constantly analyzing DEI metrics to drive improvement.
Thank you. And by the way, all of the critical thinkers out there will notice I never said word one about whether or not I'm in favor or against DEI. The only thing I've said was it absolutely applies to hiring and does not only apply to interviewing. That's all I said.
And I'm asking to see that video because I can't find it. Then it's confusing. If you said it was scrubbed, and then you said it's just easy Google, I can't find it. So it's one or the other.
Well, I just came up. I'm getting ready for something, so I can't be in here long. But something became very clear to me as I was listening to this conversation, right? And it's that we all may have different ideas about what constitutes a racist statement. I believe that if you see a person and presume that their capabilities are somehow compromised because of the color of their skin, that is a racist statement to me. And it's possible that the reason that we're not finding common ground is because we have different definitions of the term racist. And so, in a way, these conversations end up feeling kind of futile because, like, the idea, I think that is an outrageous statement to make. And maybe we'll disagree about, we can't get to a space of agreeing about how people want to think about and reflect on this time in history, because we want permission to feel and justification to feel that racist tropes, racist statements are okay. And oddly enough, I will fight for you to have the right to do that. You can feel however you choose to feel. I think where this goes wrong is when people try to talk other people out of how they feel. I don't get on a plane and say, wow, this guy is a white guy. I wonder if he's a school shooter. I wonder if that would be outrageous. I wonder if his kids are, that would be outrageous, because it's making a decision about an entire group of people based on their race. Now that may not matter to you. That may not offend you. You may not be disturbed by that. You may not agree that that is a racist statement. So can we just agree to disagree? This thing that we're doing of like this cleansing, this redaction it's bizarre. Just say it with your whole chest. Just say it with your whole chest. Just do it and be out and proud and loud and just stand by it.
I will say it.
So
I will say it, nigga. I will say nigga.
There we go. Thank you so much. You proved my point. That's exactly that's where we are. Like if that's how you feel, if that's what you think, just own that. Harvard has 40% legacy admission. 40% legacy and athletes. Are you kidding me? That means, like, when you look at Yale, you think George Bush, you think, I could go down a whole list of people who are not mental geniuses. But we don't have any problem with those admissions.
Go argue.
We're going to sit here.
Denise, I just said, don't kill the messenger here. I'm just telling you the fallout.
Abby, you said, I heard you what you said. You said there's always been legacy.
Yeah,
there's always.
And I'm telling you,
legacy admissions are not a problem. Legacy admissions are not a problem. It's the 7 black people that got into Harvard. Listen. I didn't interrupt you. I sat and I listened to you. I'm speaking now.
Yeah, but don't put it in my words, because I was.
Tell you what, let's hold on. Let's let Denise take as much time as she wants. And Denise, the only thing I'm going to ask, and I'm sure you can comply, don't quote Abby. Just say whatever you want to say in your own words. I'm sure you'll do that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even have to. We've established it. It's whatever. I just want us to listen. If you can't stand by the words you say, that's your problem. If you're not proud of the words that you say, that's your problem. If you revere someone and there's this effort to scrub every comment, listen, if you say he was a champion for his position, he was an aggressive, outspoken, there are a lot of things that you could say that are 100% true. I think that where we're having the problem is this campaign to persuade me that somebody that says when they see a black pilot, they're not sure if they're going to be safe on that plane is not racist. That is outrageous to me. That's an outrageous thing to say. So if you feel that, we're not going to be aligned. You're not going to convince me. You're not going to persuade me. So then what are we talking about? Just hold on to the beliefs that you want to hold on to, and I'll hold on to the beliefs that I want to hold on to. And we just agree to disagree.
And before we go to Abby and the new people that just came onto the stage, I just want to say for the record, for me, when I hop on the plane, the first thing I think about is how long has it been since the captain had a drink, and did he get 8 hours of sleep last night? That's the only thing I give a shit about the captain and the guy that's flying or the gal that's flying my jet.
By the way, I got receipts.
Hang on.
In the
oh
chat,
yeah, okay, Image, go ahead. Go ahead.
In the chat is the
No, please tell me. Please, my eyesight sucks. Please tell me.
Okay, so I just posted a link to the video.
I don't care about the link. Just tell me what it says.
July 2023, where Charlie Kirk calls on his pod for Joe Biden to be.
This is Reverend Scott. I'm sorry, Reverend.
Yeah. This is I just posted the link to where Charlie Kirk says his own show, Joe Biden should be executed.
I posted it too. I didn't see that Scott had did it, but I posted the Reddit link too.
All right. So
I think it's interesting that Abby seems to be saying she couldn't find it, and yet I just Googled it again, and it's all
How
over.
old are you?
Why?
Because I'm a lot older and I'm not good with finding.
And she doesn't look it though, because I hung out in person, and she does not. She doesn't look. She looks like she could Google faster than a 35.
Thank you.
All right. So, Abby, did you want to respond?
Just again.
Just do me a huge favor. Just do me a huge favor. Don't quote any prior speakers. Just say it in your own words.
I'm specifically saying articles I read, talking to people in the industry, and the fallout was the fallout. I'm not promoting it. I'm just stating that was the fallout after that case. With respect to having natural biases, you want me to own one? When I go to the hospital, I get really happy if my doctor is a Jewish doctor. So there's an absolute bias. You can like it or not, I'm going to own it. Okay? It makes me feel good when that happens.
When Ronald Reagan was shot, he asked the doctor before he put him under anesthesia if he was a Republican.
Right. I mean, we all have our. So I never asked what the political party is of my doctor, but I definitely have a comfort if that's the case. So
you know what I ask when I see a surgical doctor? How many times before have you performed this procedure? That's what I ask. But nevertheless, Necro, have you spoken yet? JCS, have you spoken yet?
No, I haven't.
And okay, JCS, you're before him. Did you speak or did you want to?
I'm not done. One last thing, and the reason is because I know what their mothers put them through. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Sorry.
That's okay. Okay, JCS and then Necro, I think, is the order, I think.
It's rare that I don't have something to offer, but much of what I said was in the chat throughout the duration of the conversation, so I'll just leave it there. I got to go to the gym, but thank you.
All right, I show Necro and then Arthur, who we're waiting on, and then Alana. Hi, Necro.
Yeah, I just want to be clear about I just want to understand essentially what specific topic. Is it all mostly around Charlie Kirk and his legacy? Because I know that's been around for the past week.
Thanks. Good. Anything else, or are you good?
Well, I just wanted to clarify that. Is that really what the subject is about?
The subject's about anything anybody wants to talk about. It's an after party. It's a popcorn.
Oh, okay. Well,
I mean, to me, since I heard about it, seems like there's been discussion about Charlie Kirk. I mean, to me, I ultimately see is like, you have a lot of people who have, of course, been putting about a lot of the, rhetoric that showed a lot of Kirk's controversial side, ultimately. And to me, and of course, you have Dwayne Johnson's daughter who made a claim that if you don't want people to say, nasty things about you when you're dead, then don't say nasty things while you're alive.
Yeah.
And so, to me, it's like, in general, I mean, I'm not a person who feels the impulses to do that, but I think all opinions are valid on the subject. But I think essentially the same people who want the legacy that Charlie Kirk was known for being a person who championed free speech, the greatest way is apparently arrested for celebrating Charlie Kirk's death, which, you might it's like, you would, as shit as you think it is.
He got arrested because he went and destroyed part of a vigil. There were people around it, and there was a thing of like flowers, hearts, and notes. He probably got charged with destruction of property.
Okay. Well, I mean, like I said, that if that was the case, but I mean, regardless, I have heard people who have said that essentially that people should be in jail online. Like, I've seen people on Facebook saying that, people have, should be in prison for celebrating his death. I mean, which is like, yeah, you can say it's shitty, but it's like, it's still something that's protected under the First Amendment, like under free speech.
Yeah, and I'll give you my personal opinion, and again, I'm no lawyer, but where you cross over the line, you are absolutely allowed. Unfortunately, if someone died or was assassinated after the fact, you can say, I'm glad they were assassinated, I'm glad they're dead. That's protected. But once you advocate for assassinating or killing somebody in the present day or the future that's currently alive, that's where you step over the line.
Uncle Steve, let me tell you, Ann Bondi, the Attorney General, disagrees with you.
Really?
She single-handedly is overturning Skokie today and says that people will be going after it by the Justice Department for hate speech. David French, knows his Constitution pretty well, said, this is crazy that hate speech, there's no hate speech exception in the First Amendment, but according to Pam Bondi, there now is. And as Attorney General, she said she will be enforcing.
Yes. However, we should clarify that hate speech does not require an element of inciting violence or breaking the law. For example, here's some hate speech for you out of my mouth. I hate the Nazis, and I wish that they will all be disbanded. That is hate speech that's protected. But if I say members of the Nazi Party should die or be assassinated, that's where I cross over the line from hate speech to inciting violence. And let's see, who hasn't spoken? We have Lana. Hi, Lana.
Hi, how are you guys?
How are you, Lana?
I'm good. I'm from London.
Great, I'm from Los Angeles.
See, I love it. We're already connecting across the pond.
Great minds think alike. What would you like to contribute?
Do you know what? I'm grateful to find a room that, celebrates diversity and brings people together. And I'm finding, I'm Jewish. I'm living in London. I just came back from Israel, and I have experienced so much. I hate the word hatred, but there you go. I've had so much challenges in this country from before I left and since October the 7th, and coming back from Israel, and I'm a person that stands up and can, normally stands up and is celebrating who I am, and I'm a singer and I run live music nights, and I've never felt, I've never found it difficult to wear my Star of David or my yellow badge about the hostages or anything like that. But actually, in the most recent times, I have found myself hesitate to say that I was in Israel, or and it's sad, and it's just felt like I'm just happy to be in a place that we can all be who we are and celebrate who we are and feel okay with it, because in the other rooms on Facebook, not Facebook, Clubhouse, I have felt like I have stood up and said who I am and who I think, but I've had so much hate thrown at me. So yeah, just nice to be here, but I didn't really catch exactly what the conversation was yet, so I'm just going to sit back and listen for a bit.
That's okay. And before we move on, thank you very much. And yes, when I hold, I encourage opinions from all sides of the coin, as long as you're respectful. And if you say something, and I'm not saying anybody has, but if you say something that is either completely stupid or ridiculous, I'm going to stop and call you on it. And by the way, most people do not hate me. Most people think I'm pretty reasonable. They like being in my rooms, with the exception of the talking apes. That's a group of people that absolutely hate me. But that being said, let's go to Susanna. Hi, Susanna.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me.
And by the way, it's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you. So I already know definitely there's a lot of things that I disagree with some people here, but I also believe in free speech and peaceful thought. So disclaimer, I'm a conservative. But some of the reason why I feel just calling out Charlie Kirk as a racist for statements such as the pilot statement, if someone says, I think Black pilots are not able to fly, I would agree. That's a racist statement. That would be abhorrent. But he didn't say that. He said, if I see a Black pilot, I'm going to wonder if he's qualified. And there's a little nuance there. And the nuance is that he's not saying, oh, I think he can't fly because of the color of his skin. He's saying, I'm not sure if he can fly because people are getting jobs based on the color of their skin. And that worries me. I'd rather know that they're getting jobs. If DEI was not in play, then he wouldn't make that comment. And every single comment that I hear about him, that he's racist, if there's more context to it or you understand what he's talking about, I feel that it is pretty much unfounded. And I can see this because his best friend was Candace Owens. And then I also hear a lot of people go, oh, well, if you have a Black friend, that doesn't mean you're not racist. And it's just kind of like, if somebody accuses you of something as heinous as racism or being a Nazi, then there's no way out of it. Because you're like, oh, just because they do that good thing doesn't mean that they don't. Well, yeah, actually it does, especially when you don't have concrete evidence to show otherwise. But not only was he best friends with Candace Owens, he had her in prominent positions. They worked together, they traveled together, and it wasn't as if he had some sexual kink. They were friends. They were like brother and sister.
Are you sure you're not thinking of Ben Shapiro? Ben Shapiro, she used to work for Ben Shapiro. She didn't work for Charlie Kirk.
Well, that's true too. Before true, buddy, because one is true doesn't mean that the other is not. So it is a fact.
That's not what I said. It was, I think the thing you're talking about is not Charlie Kirk, because he didn't employ her in any positions. He certainly wouldn't set foot anywhere near her now. She has gone off the deep end.
Actually, that's not true. That's not true. You're misinformed.
She said Dr. Mengele.
Okay, so
all right, hold on. Everybody stop. Susanna, why don't you do us a favor? Because I would love to learn. Why don't you take a couple of minutes if you're near a computer and get some facts about him employing her? Because
well, let me just interject really quick. I didn't say employ. I said worked with.
Okay, worked with. Okay.
And yes,
okay.
I can do that super fast.
No. There's a huge difference between working with and employ. Look, I work with Marshall on Clubhouse, but I've never employed him, and he's never employed me. So you're right, there is a difference. Yeah.
And they were best friends and they traveled together. And he wouldn't do certain
I do want to mention this particular statement.
Sure.
She is noted, Owens, for saying Dr. Mengele's experiments are weird propaganda. She's also questioned the number of people that died in the Holocaust. The woman has jumped off the deep end.
Fair enough.
You don't say that. You don't align yourself with a white supremacist like Nick Fuentes by saying shit like that. And
I don't know that he's aligned with Nick
and
Fuentes.
expect everybody to take you as middle of the road in the Republican Party.
I don't know that he's aligned with Nick Fuentes.
It also should be stated that if someone says, if I see a black pilot, I'm going to wonder if they're fit. It's an incredibly bigoted statement. It doesn't matter that he might have influenced other things. That's super fucked up to say because of somebody's skin color, you're going to wonder if they're fucking qualified for a job.
But that's not why. That's not why.
No,
I was actually talking. That's what I was saying. That's what I was saying, the nuance.
That is, he said, I am on the Republican side. I think Charlie Kirk did an immense amount of good, but we're not going to play this game where Charlie Kirk says stuff like that and we're going to try and reframe it since his death. No, he said it.
I'm not trying to reframe it.
I'd like to add
I'm not trying to reframe it.
And here's what it is.
He said it.
You're wondering about
because and also I wasn't done. Candace was first on the
pilot, and your rationale is
you're interrupting me, and you're talking over me. You interrupted me the first time around.
So
I'm a moderator.
He's a moderator. So in response to the claim of the DEI speculation, right? Do we actually think that jobs that require an education, a qualification, and passing tests, that people get hired through the DEI system? However, that may be the case. They still need to be qualified to be a pilot, to be a doctor, to be an air traffic controller, right? So DEI might be a part of it. However, they still need to be qualified. Would you guys?
However, JCC, you may have missed a conversation between me and Arthur about 10 minutes ago. Did you hear it?
No, I didn't hear that.
Okay, let me just bring you up to speed because Arthur's been noticeably quiet since then. Arthur, I see you unmuting, so maybe you can.
I'm here. Yeah.
Okay, let me just bring JCC up to speed. Arthur's DEI only applies to interviewing and not to hiring. I vehemently disagreed. Norm then brought up the facts word for word. However, not only does DEI apply to hiring as well as interviews, but it applies specifically to hiring. But Arthur, you came off, so do you have anything that backs up what you're saying, that DEI only applies to interviews and has nothing to do with it?
So, one of the things, Steve, is where it initially started, is that interviewing leads to hiring. So I was trying to say this, is that they're linked together because you don't do one without the other, right? I'm not ignorant enough to understand that they don't coincide with each other. One of the things I was trying to actually get out in the beginning. They do work with each other, so I am in agreement with you that it's not what I was trying to actually, the nuance I was trying to say is that you are not required to hire someone because they are diverse.
Are you saying now that DEI applies to both interviews and hiring?
It is part of the equation. Yeah.
Fair enough. You know what? I agree with you. There you go. Simple.
We agree.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Let's go on to Taro. Hi, Taro.
Hi.
Hi.
So I think if we actually do take more of like a critical lens to what's happening, should be able to see that like the Kirk situation has been misrepresented in media. We know that he used to distribute a hit list when it came to Black and brown professors at various.
Wait a minute. Whoa. I don't know that. Do you have a copy of that hit list?
Yes, I do. 1 second.
Please tell us who's on it.
Generated by Turning Point?
No. I don't care who it's generated by. Oh, I'm sorry. Someone else know.
The hit list that you're talking about, do you have something to show that it was generated by Turning Point?
hopefully is going to get us the name of who's on the hit list and what the hit list stands for. I've never heard of this before. I don't know if this is a hit list.
Yeah, there was a sort of naughty list. Like, I don't know if it's exactly the hit list, but like there was one black professor that was on it. Was Charlie Kirk said she's terrible. She's advocates, these views that are liberal, and she would get these death threats and call the C word and the black B word. Yeah, I mean,
again, everything's in context. I mean, ADL has a list of bad people that are anti-Semites, okay? So can you put things in context?
Yeah. And I don't know that Charlie Kirk said she should be, attacked or anything, but she got death threats. She got terrible things.
Did he call for her to get death threats?
I don't think he called for her to get death threats. No, I do not think he did that. No,
he just threw her on a watch list. Okay, so the watch list has terrorized legions. Yeah, it's terrorized legions of professors across the country, women, black faculty, queer scholars, basically anyone who challenged white supremacy, gun culture, or Christian nationalism suddenly found themselves targets of coordinated abuse. Some of these death threats, some of these people received death threats, some had their jobs threatened, some left academia entirely, others had I know somebody personally who had their office ransacked, and a lot of
who
their
was organizing these ransacks and these death threats? Are you saying that his organization?
No, she's not. She's not saying.
No. She used the term organized.
No. I heard it said, but let me see if I can put this in the right context. Taro, and again, this is the first time. Taro, are you saying this is a list of people that not only are strong influencers, but vehemently disagree with Kirk's position, and he's basically letting his followers know these are people that are speaking up against us? But Kirk did not say to go and ransack their offices. He said, you got to watch for these people because they disagree with our position. Or am I totally off base?
You're a little bit off base, but okay. You're kind of there almost. Okay, so I don't know how much everyone's age kind of affects their ability to or their exposure, I guess, not ability, exposure to understanding the Groyper movement or the Nazi movement and other white supremacist gangs. How they have been.
Some of us do it for a living. We track it for a living.
Fantastic.
Okay.
So you would know that if you are looking into some of the places where Charlie Kirk would actually post in 4chan networks, etc., we know that he would put up a watch list.
Wait, say that again. What you just said.
Abby, a watch list is
prior
what
to that. She said pose. Is that the word?
Post. Abby, post a watch list. Go ahead, Taro. Go ahead.
Is my English difficult?
No. Taro, you're doing great. Taro, you're doing great.
I was afraid that maybe my English was a little bit.
Your English is perfect. Please continue.
Maybe I should slow it down a little bit.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to try and speak as slowly and comprehensively as possible. What would you like me to speak on?
Well, I'd like you to speak on anything that you would like to, unless you're finished for now.
Well, I think that my point, before I was interrupted several times and asked to provide evidence, which is weird because, Susanna said a whole bunch of things that were false, and we didn't ask her but that's fine. Anyways, I think that if we use some critical thinking,
yes,
and we understand what makes up and constitutes a gang, we can understand that these white supremacist gangs, as they exist on the internet, in this meta space, is spilling over into
physical spaces. This has happened before in history. Klansmen have been at the throats of other skinhead organizations, and this has just been a position that white supremacist organizations generally have. So they don't necessarily cooperate with one another. This is a common kind of position that exists with white supremacist organizations. Charlie Kirk, as somebody who was also a part of a white supremacist organization, is also a part of that.
What's the name of that? What's the name of that organization?
I think Turning Point USA was his organization.
Okay, I'm not aware that. Hold on. I wasn't aware that Turning Point was a white supremacist organization, but please continue.
Okay, well, I'm glad that I could be here to help.
May I ask you a question, Taro? Does a
I tell you what, Abby, hang on, Abby. Go ahead, Taro.
Yeah, so I think if we understand like the position that Americans have around gang violence, we should also understand that this is not a political thing, because Americans don't believe that, like, we as like critical theorists would believe that gangs are much a part of the political body as well, but Americans at large do not define gang violence as political violence. And so I think that this, like,
what do Americans in general define gang violence as?
It's non-political.
I got to tell you,
would you like me to give you a article on that? Would you like me to explain that Americans feel that way, or?
Yes, I would like it in. I would like it in your own words. I would not prefer an article. I'd like it in your own words. You see, my opinion, first based on the facts, that when we talk on Clubhouse, and I said this yesterday, is that 85% of the people just listen. Only 10 to 15% of the people on Clubhouse speak, and so I encourage everybody not to confuse the 10 to 15% that speak with the 85% that just listen. You see, I think most Americans really don't care that much about what we're talking about. They care about paying their bills, they care about their household, they care about their family, and they care about a safe environment. They don't care about arguing over conservative and liberal and Democrat and Republican and blue and red. But if you want, you can tell me what you think and why I might be wrong.
So I feel like in what you've said already, you've projected a lot of like strange statements, but like I don't know what to like.
Well, they might be strange, but I maintain that they're true.
Okay.
And by the way, if anything that I just said, in your opinion, is not true, tell me what I said that's not true.
Okay. I don't know where you are putting your thoughts together in right now.
Hello, I'll tell you. I'll answer your question. Go ahead and go. Thank you. And then we'll move on. Where I'm putting my thoughts together, and by the way, you talked about age earlier. I'm 65 years old, okay? I'm born and raised in Los Angeles. I'm giving you a little bit of my history, okay? I've got a bachelor's degree from 40 years ago. I've got 35 years of experience in workers' compensation, employment, and labor law. But nobody in the Clubhouse wants to talk about that. So instead, I've spent the past 4.5 years on Clubhouse speaking to people about current events, politics, God and religion, and the human condition. And I've spoken to thousands of people. So when you ask, where am I getting my thoughts from? That's where I'm getting my thoughts from. But I'd love to hear from you in a bit, but I want to give some other people.
Do you want me to give you a resume right now too?
If you want, you can send it to me. That's fine.
Well, I figured you wanted to do a credentialing because you were credentialing yourself.
The only reason why I don't know where you're getting. See, now you're interrupting me. You said I don't know where in your thoughts. So I figured I would be honest, sincere, and answer your question.
Yeah, and I was offering that then if you are honestly and sincerely answering my question, that you would want to like actually hear my thought out, because you still haven't actually let me finish a thought.
Tell you what, take a minute and finish the thought. Nobody interrupt her, and then we'll move on. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, like, so as I had mentioned, Americans at large, because I'm talking about the legal system, not our individual beliefs, the American legal system sees gang violence as senseless violence. It considers it senseless, and it considers it to be non-political. This is just what it's called in the legal world. Now, America is not just us talking on Clubhouse, but it's also a number of different systems that come together to actually work and function as a state. And so that is what I'm trying to address, that this gang violence that happens between white factions of white supremacist groups should not be taken as though it is political violence, when they are actually just hitting each other this way. We don't do this to any other race.
You're going to argue. Now let her take her 30. Let her finish up her 30 seconds, because I do want to move on. Go ahead, finish up.
We don't do this to any other race. We don't do this to any other community. And so white people should not play the victim card in this moment, and should understand that this is what senseless gang violence will do. It will lead to senseless violence.
You're being wholly and completely dishonest. Charlie Kirk, on the Republican side, led one of the largest grassroots organizations in the country that helped drive the youth vote out.
Tara, go on mute, please. Tara, go on. Thank you.
So did the Black Panthers.
Tara, go on mute, please. Second request.
At no level since Richard Nixon in 1970.
So did Mumia Abu Jamal.
I'm not doing it. You got mad at
Tara, last request,
Do
please.
you know who Mumia Abu Jamal is?
All right, okay, and let me just say this before we move on to Marshall. Tara, I gave you 3 warnings to stay on mute, and you didn't, and I'm terribly sorry. If you want to hang out, we'll bring you back again in about 5 minutes, but I don't know how long you've been on Clubhouse, but there's a general rule on Clubhouse all over the place that you don't interrupt the moderators. That's pretty much the same rule in every room. But Marshall, go ahead.
No, I was going to say it's a dishonest framing. It was clearly done by a guy who, for whatever reason, had animus or dislikes the guy. I don't really care which political party he ascribed to. The party of the shooter is unimportant to me. He then took a bolt-action rifle, set up a 200-yard shot in the middle of a political rally. I don't know in what context, in an assassination, which, by the way, if you're going to shoot 200 yards, far, far longer than voices can be heard over, you need to be a pretty decent shot, which means you have to practice and think about what you're going to do. So it was premeditated, certainly. That's what the state charged him with as well. The other piece of this is, again, it was at a political rally done to a guy who leads one of the largest college grassroots organizations in the country that is famous for politics. They're not famous for just being white, or he's not famous for just being white. He's famous because of his politics. So it's clearly a political assassination. To say that it is not is to be genuinely dishonest in the framing. I'm not assuming that one is a dishonest person. I'm simply assuming that the framing itself is dishonest because it doesn't adequately take into account his political status, the group he was a part of, or the people he was talking to at the time he was shot.
I would be curious to hear her definition of what a white supremacist is. I was actually wanting to know how, because she specifically said that Turning Point and he that are affiliated were white supremacists. So I was just curious how she defines a white supremacist.
Well, affiliated is different because affiliated is different. You know.
But she specifically said his organization is.
Yes, she did.
But,
and we can bring her up in a couple of minutes. I got no problem with hearing her again. But Hanson is new and Ron is new. Hi, Hanson. You want to contribute? Hanson, would you like to? Hanson.
Oh, hey, yeah.
There we go. Yeah, go ahead. Hi. Go ahead.
Get to my phone. Yeah.
No problem.
So I just came in earlier, and then shortly, and I heard about the DEI, and just want to say something about it. Before that, I also heard Susanna talking about Candace Owen and Charlie Kirk.
Yeah.
And I'm not too familiar with the Candace Owen, but just the other day, I think on YouTube I just happened to come upon her video memorializing Charlie Kirk, and so she said she was working very closely with Charlie Kirk on the founding or maybe actually founding of the Turning Point USA. So I don't know if it's employment or founder. So, but they are.
I like affiliated. That sounds like affiliated. I like that.
Yeah, and she also put on the videos how close they work together. So, just want to put it out there because it seems there is a controversy of how close they work together.
Hey, I've been asking.
Very, very, very close to.
I've been asking Abby for a job for years, and she'll only affiliate with me on Clubhouse.
Hanson, really quick, did you hear that I wanted my physicists to be Chinese? Did that insult you in any regard?
Well, that's your preference. Yes, sure, definitely. I mean, if that's your preference, that's fine.
Especially if you're into Chinese medicine and not Western medicine, right?
Yeah, but I would rather you say that you want the best physicist to work with you.
Let's go to someone that I haven't seen in a long time, bro.
Actually, I finished. So,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
The Candace Owen part, because I just happened on that. But regarding DEI, lowers the quality of the profession. Because if it is without DI, the market pressure would have the press for the amount of qualification, and then when you add in external pressure to filling the quota, affirmative action or DI, that definitely would lower the quality of the profession. Okay, I'm done speaking.
Let's go to someone who I haven't seen in a gazillion years. Ron. Hi, Ron. Long time no see.
Hey, Steve. I was browsing, and I'm a fan of yours, as you well know, and I'm a fan of critical thinking, so I thought I would tune in and see if there's any contribution I could make. So can I listen for a while and chime in?
Yes, absolutely. You sure can. We're probably going to be here till 6 o'clock, 23 more minutes. You can. Quing. Hello, Quing, if I'm pronouncing that right. Quing. Q-I-N-G. Q-I-N-G once. Oh, there he goes.
It's pronounced as Ching.
Ching. Well, thank you. I didn't know.
Ching or King?
Got you. Would any of the mods like to speak? Go back to the mods and then go on down the line. Mods.
Did you skip me for a reason, Steve, or are you?
Who is speaking? Who is speaking?
Zero.
Oh, Hero, I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. No.
It's okay.
No.
I was letting more diverse people in the queue.
No. The only reason is my eyesight sucks. Go ahead.
That's okay. So I came up when you were sort of berating Arthur. Which I thought was pretty rude, dude. Like let a guy get a thought in there. Same thing with Tara. Like,
the interruptions are really hard to listen to in the audience. So I just felt like I had to go. So I guess we kind of beat this to death, but the whole pilot thing. Saying that you're concerned about the pilot's competence because he's black is definitely racist. You cannot smooth that over. If you don't understand how pilots are certified, then you just don't understand. You just don't know. So Charlie Kirk made a career being super confident about things he didn't know about, right? And that's a weird kind of DI program, like, just like puffing up the incompetent people for some reason. Pilots, just to get to the interview, a pilot has to get their private pilot's license. That requires 40 hours minimum of flying, plus a written test, then a check ride. Then you got to get an instrument rating. That requires even more of that stuff. Another test, another check ride. Then you got to get your commercial license. Once you get to 250 hours, that just lets you get paid. That doesn't let you fly big planes. Then usually people become an instructor. Then then they start getting paid a little bit. And then they can get a multi-engine rating, and they can become an instructor on a multi-engine, and they can be an instructor for instrument. There are so many fucking steps to go through to become a pilot. Then you got to get to 1,500 hours to get your ATP. Then you can interview. So if an airline has a program to maybe go look for a few extra black guys or some women or some whatever to get them into the interview, I'm on Arthur's side. Like, get them into the interview, get them into the queue. It is really. So here's the thing: when I see it, and let's face it. That often, because flying is a pretty freaking white male thing. But if I see a black dude sitting in the captain's seat, my thought is going to be that guy had to go through. That guy is probably the most qualified pilot you're going to ever fly with. So to assume that because of his skin color he's less competent is fucking racist. There's no massaging that.
Thank you. Hold it, I want to respond. Hold it, I want to respond. How many times do I have to say it?
I just want to say something funny, Steve. Just relax.
Go ahead, say something funny.
Did someone say massage?
Thank you. Hero, I'm going to vehemently disagree with you on only one thing that you said. Everything else sounded pretty cogent to me. But in my humble opinion, Charlie Kirk spent a lifetime doing exactly what he was excellent at, and that was getting people behind him to vote the way he wanted them to vote. And one clear example, and I'll use an analogy. I'm an old fart. I'm 65. When I went to college in the late 70s and the early 80s, if you were a known Republican, if you were starting a Republican club, you had a sore thumb, you had a red flag, you were an outcast. Over 90-95% of the students that went to my college were liberal Democrats, okay? This is why Charlie Kirk was so good at what he did. He not only got people to like him, he not only knew what he was talking about, but he went to the colleges and recruited people on his side of the fence. He spent a lifetime doing exactly what he was very, very good at. But that's just my opinion.
See, like I said, he helped turn out the largest youth vote for the Republicans since Richard Nixon's historic landslide in 72. Which, for those who don't know, Richard Nixon is the high water mark for landslide elections, believe it or not.
Steve Wee. Hi, Steve Wee.
Can I, when you time slot allows, can I?
Is that Hanson?
Yes.
Why don't you go after Steve Wee? Steve Wee. Hello, Steve Wee.
Hey, man. How's it going?
I'm just getting people attacking me left and right, but you know what? I fucking love it.
Well, the pinata is on, huh?
There you go. The pendulum swings both ways, baby.
Well, I kind of dipped out for a while, so I maybe I need to listen a little more to see what the
flavor of the room is. Hey, Jordan, how's it going, buddy?
You got it. Let's go to Hanson, and then we'll go back to Taro, because I know she's been waiting patiently. Hanson.
Yes, thank you. To say that saying the DI candidate maybe low qualified less is racism, then I would say that DI and affirmative action are racist policy in the first place. It's a systematic racist policy because it put the skin color as a qualification, the standard. So that is based on race. So that is obviously a systematic policy.
So the Supreme Court agreed with you clearly in the Harvard, North Carolina cases.
Yeah, exactly.
And also one other thing I wanted to add on those cases that I got also attacked for, just trying to state what changed in the law. When Justice O'Connor wrote her famous opinion on it, and affirmative action got established, and we come out of the Michigan case and moved forward as a nation, it had a shelf life. She specifically, in her opinion, it was a 25-year shelf life, and felt that within the 25 years, the country could adjust itself. And when the Harvard decision came out, where the Asian community had suffered damages and had suffered quite a bit as a result of that policy, more than any other, well, I could say that Jewish community also, the numbers went down substantially at those schools, but the Asian community more than any, it was time for the expiration. And that also came into play as the Supreme Court made that decision. But it was most certainly based on skin color for those 25 years. And hopefully the Asian community will now start taking its place in these universities and having the proper acceptance that they deserve.
Yeah, and also it's very clearly lowered standard with admission scores lowering dramatically for the targets of DEI and affirmative actions.
All right, now I was going to go to Yara, but she left. So let's go to Christian. Hi, Christian.
Hey, Steve, how you doing?
Oh, just getting attacked from all sides, but that's okay. If I'm going to be attacked, I want to be attacked by the Republicans and the Democrats both equally. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's completely fair. Well, I just wanted
You know what that means, bud? It means I'm doing a good fucking job. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I totally agree. And in your words, I think you're doing a great fucking job.
Thank you.
No problem, man.
Did you want to say anything else, or just talk about me for a minute?
Oh, yeah, spectacular. For sure.
You care to hear what Taro put in the chat?
Yes. What did she put in the chat?
Sorry.
No. You got more, Christian?
Oh yeah, I do. Sorry, I just was coming out from outside, so apologies. Well, I did want to talk about a little bit about Charlie Kirk, and I don't know how many times this came up today, but Steve, I want to know, because I haven't talked to too many people about it. What have you seen? Because I've been hearing a lot of liberals and Democrats kind of like celebrating his death, and I've heard, that come from, a lot of Republicans. So I wanted to know, are people really just celebrating Charlie Kirk being dead? Is everybody just jumping from their seats, just so spectacularly happy? What have you heard?
I will give you the facts. Yes, some people are, and some people from both the right and the left. Most people are not. That's my observation. I believe it to be factually correct. Now, if we want to go to the law, which you didn't ask, I said it earlier, I'll say it again. Your speech to say that you're glad he's dead, that is protected speech. But where you cross the line is if you advocate someone today who's alive or tomorrow being killed or assassinated. That's inciting violence, and that is not protected speech. The speech of saying that someone who's dead, you're happy about it is, I personally think it's reprehensible. The message that me, Denise, I assume all of the mods, we all agree, the message is simple. Under no circumstances whatsoever Is it permissible, no matter what, to assassinate someone because of their words? If we can all get behind that very simple message, then we can move on. But if anybody says, well, what about this, what about that, or whatever, I've got nothing less to discuss with them, because there's nothing else that I can say unless we can move forward from that point. That's my opinion.
And Steve, and I've been looking a little bit on the news because obviously this is still a little bit of a newer situation.
Yep.
And they charged him with, I think it was multiple counts, but they the ones that I've heard of, at least charges wise, was aggravated murder and then felony discharge of a weapon causing deadly, outcome was kind of the charges that was given. And they have, or at least the prosecution has asked for the death penalty to be enforced because in accordance to Utah state law, it is perfectly legal. Do you think that Mr. Tyler Robinson will indeed be facing the death penalty, or do you think that will not happen?
Let me just say this. To qualify for the death penalty, and Abby's more qualified to speak on this than me, when you are just convicted of second degree, or for that matter, even first degree murder, your chances are less likely of qualifying for the death penalty than if you have first degree murder with special circumstances. In most places, it has to do with a political motivation. It has to do with a hate crime. It has to do with killing a law enforcement officer or killing a witness. Those all can fall under the first degree murder with special circumstances. And of course, a lot of states don't have the capital punishment, but the ones that do definitely, I believe, first require special circumstances on top of the first degree murder. That's why it's so important that they got those added. That's my take.
Thank you. I don't think I have any other thing aside from one more question. Then I'll
Sure, go ahead.
I was here for a little bit of time. What exactly happened with the previous speaker earlier?
Which one?
I mean, I don't want to say by name, but
you can go. This is not the weekend. Go ahead. You can say whatever you want.
Yeah. I'm trying to recall her name. She was interrupting you a lot. It was pretty recent. It was probably 10 minutes ago.
You must be talking about Taro.
Yeah. Yes, Taro. Yes, that's correct.
Yeah. Well, we put her down for 5 minutes. We brought her back up. She stayed for 5 or 10 minutes, and then she left. She left right after I said she would be next. So she didn't find the room enjoyable.
And that was the reason why that whole, basically outburst.
You'd have to listen to the replay. I can't regurgitate it all.
It was my fault, Christian.
Okay.
Well, it's always JCC's fault. You should know that.
Okay. Yeah.
It's always JCC's fault.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go. Did we do Sean B? I think we did. Yes, we did do Sean B, or no? Sean.
Oh, I just got here. I just want to say hello.
Hi.
Hey, good to see you, Steve.
Good to hear you.
It's an honor to be in your room, and hello to my fellow Californian in this beautiful weather.
Yes, Los Angeles. Yes.
Right. I'm a conservative. I was curious if you had any specific questions, because you mentioned, you like being able to ask conservatives questions. I mean, I could speak on.
I said I like asking conservatives questions.
Maybe not that. Maybe you said you like conservatives.
No. I'll tell you exactly what I said.
Okay.
I said I like to hear opinions from all sides in a respectable manner.
Okay. Yeah. The whole racist thing that I've been hearing about Charlie Kirk has been of interest to me, and to be quite honest, I haven't had the opportunity to hear anything that was racist that's come out of his mouth, but apparently he did have something to say about people of color and.
Let me tell you what I've heard and what I've seen. And again, I've learned more about Charlie Kirk posthumously than I did the entire time he was alive, although I got his emails like 2-3 times a day. I just deleted them. his comments, whether or not they're in or out of context, come very, very, very close, if not going over the line of racism. But you can make an argument that they're not racist. Now, of course, what I've learned, I would never follow this guy. I would never quote this guy. He's just way out of the box on the Christian ultra right, and very much borders on racist. But I'm sure a supremacist or a Donald Trump could make an argument that what he's saying is not racist. But for people like me, I find it pretty right there. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh yeah, no, and all I was going to say about it is I wish I had the opportunity to ask him that question and understand better if it was taken out of context. So I definitely would look forward to checking that out, and if we're still having a conversation about it.
Yeah,
in the next few days, I think it'd be interesting to understand that better.
Thank you. And when I hop on a plane, if I see the captain is black, I'm not thinking about whether or not he's qualified. I'm thinking about the same thing if I see a white pilot. When was the last time he drank alcohol, and did he get 8 hours of sleep last night? That's the only thing I give a fuck about. Moose. Hi, Moose. Moose.
Steve? Yeah.
Hey, Moose.
How you doing, man? I agree. I 100% agree with what you just said.
Thank you.
I know there's some folks putting some stuff in the chat, that he was involved with meeting with other black leaders, and apparently he even tried to organize some black youth to get to the White House. So thereby, he can say whatever. That gives him the parent license, as if he's like a black comedian and he can go up on stage making, jokes about the black community.
Yeah, I heard him and Elon Musk had a special spaceship that whipped him out at the speed of light on the other side of Saturn to Titan to go visit with the aliens and come on back. No, I'm just
right.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Well,
yeah.
Exactly, and I think it's really the biggest hurdle for me, the biggest leap where people are trying to justify his comment. It's infamous. One of his infamous comments of saying civil rights was a big mistake, but people that are defending that, saying it's not racist, are really trying to do a time warp leap and fast forward to today to DEI. And I loved your example of the pilot, right? So back in civil rights era, you would never see Charlie Kirk would never walk onto any airplane and see a black pilot. He wouldn't walk into any business and see a black business owner. He wouldn't walk into any diner seeing black people sitting elbow to elbow to white people at the counter. We're like civil rights, Jim Crow. No, that's no. I think that's absolutely insulting to all the folks that had to experience those atrocities during civil rights and Jim Crow era.
I gotta tell you, when I die,
say, well, I'm gonna be suspect. If it's a
I don't expect everybody to come to feel like one person, maybe a couple.
Especially a black airline pilot. It's not like.
What I'm trying to say is, you can live your life as you say, but as you can see, after Oblivion, this is how you're treated.
I'm just gonna see, the FAA and just to see if you can bypass all the years of training. And just come on, do me a favor, because we need to make those stats. We need affirmative action for black pilots. It's like that is the absolute him using that actually just kind of showed himself. It really did. If he said we need more black executives in tech, that's more believable as far as actually trying to say, the black person, he's not qualified. He's just a black pilot because he's black. He just somehow magically got past all the FAA requirements and hurdles to be responsible for flying 300 plus people daily. It's so I appreciate you saying that, Steve. And to be clear, yes, I'm obviously on the left, but that said, I am vehemently against the bullet. That's not the answer. That's not the answer. And I don't care if the shooter was on the left or on the right. I'm 100% against killing someone for using free speech. But that said, I do have respect and empathy for the Black community who are not shedding a single tear. Thanks, Steve.
Absolutely. And before we move on, let me just say this. I don't care what the color of your skin is. I don't care if you're a man or a woman. I don't care what age you are, 18 or over. I don't care your religion. Everybody has the chance to be an individual idiot with me. All you got to do is speak to me for 5 minutes, and believe me, I'll tell right away if you're an idiot. Beaver. Hi, Beaver. Hi, Beaver. Beaver once. Beaver, don't trip over running to the phone. Beaver once, Beaver twice. Beaver 3 times. What a shame. Ron, we're almost at the top of the hour. Oh,
Steve, if it's okay, can I just add, because I feel like I didn't ever get to finish.
Yeah, tell you what, Susanna, hang on. No, we'll go over time for you. Let me go back to Ron first and see if he wanted to speak or if he still wanted to wait. Ron, did you want to speak or did you still want to wait? He probably wants to continue waiting, which is fine. By the way, Susanna, I see you have that party hat. Did you just join Clubhouse within the past week, or were you gone for a while on a new account?
No, I'm new. A friend
Welcome.
Thank you.
Just so you don't know, I just started doing these pop-up rooms, critical thinking after party. This is only the second time, but I've been doing the weekend show on Saturday, Ask Uncle Steve with the Mod Squad, and Sunday, Ask the Atheist for like 4 years. So hopefully you'll join us then. But please contribute now.
Okay, well, it would be my pleasure. I can see we actually disagree on quite a bit, but I appreciate how you are a moderator. Anyway.
You mean you don't think I interrupt too much? You don't think I'm stupid? You don't think I have a low IQ? Imagine that.
I've only witnessed you briefly, but no, I do not. But I do feel like I was interrupted before. But anyway, let me just say what I was going to say, continue where I left off. My point was not about where Candace stands and all of that. My point was, I feel a lot of these things that Charlie Kirk said that are taken as racist are taken out of context. I believe there is a nuance for if it's based on DEI, and I don't think that's the same thing as being quite as much based on skin color. And really, the thing that I was trying to get at was he has done things. He started this thing called the Black Summit, and he's a leadership type program. I'm not exactly sure 100% what it was, but this program for youth, specifically aimed for Black people, Black children, and he's even taken young Black people to the White House so they could tour. He's worked with a lot of Black leaders. A lot of Black leaders are memorializing him. One among them is Angela Stanton King, who was Martin Luther King Jr.'s niece, and you can find her on Instagram or wherever. And she called Charlie Kirk out for saying things about Martin Luther King Jr. And he did say Martin Jr. was a bad person, but he was feeling. But there's context there too. It wasn't because Martin Luther King Jr. was Black. It's because he felt that he had some Marxist ideas. And so Angela Stanton King called Charlie Kirk out saying that wasn't appropriate. She didn't like it. But then when he died, not only did she say it's not right to kill him, she further said that he was a truth teller and that he spoke the truth. And she was with him on some of what he said, that they disagreed, but and she definitely didn't call him a racist. So I feel that people who knew him and people who did actually listen to him in full context and saw that he worked with Black people. He has this guy that he knew since he was 12 years old, who's a Black guy, who also was involved with Turning Point and different things. And he's talking out about how I've known him since I was 12 and I've always been Black. And so, I mean, and I was saying before, because someone has one Black friend, people go, oh, well, you can't prove they're not a racist. But I find it really hard that once there's an accusation such as racism, it's really easy to quote someone out of context and come up with a lot of evidence, especially when it's sound bites and it's little things, than it is to counter that. Once an accusation like that is made, it's really hard to say any differently no matter what. And so I feel like it's really unfair that he says something based on DEI or whatever, but if you listen to him enough and listen to how he has helped or been there for the Black community, and then see what he does say that seems racist, but in full context and full meaning, I don't know, I just feel like it bothers me because I feel like he's not being well represented, and people are judging him based on these partial truths. And that's what bothers me about it. And that's my piece. Thank you for letting me get it out.
It is my pleasure. Before we move on, let me say this, that a lot of times with someone such as you says that I interrupt them, I let them go completely without interrupting them no matter what. I'll just take umbrage with one thing that you said, that he's not being fairly represented. And that is that although on Clubhouse and Facebook and X he may not be representative, he's got the president and the vice president of the United States representing him. And that to me is pretty powerful, but that's cool.
Can I add one thing to Susanna?
Let me just respond to that, and then you can. Let me just respond to that really quick. Yes, but also there's a lot of animosity towards the president of the United States these days. But thank you, Steve. I don't believe it was you that was.
No. I appreciate your contribution. Thank you.
Okay, and then whoever else.
I just wanted to layer on also as people. That's why I wanted the girl to define a white supremacist for me, because if she was defining it, one who lines up with the Klan, I wanted to state how devastated the Jewish community was by his death. And we issued a statement from the Republican Jewish Coalition about how shocked we were and that we're grieving, and what a dear friend. We worked very closely with his organization in the last cycle, in the last election. The statement that we issued, I figure out how to put it in the chat. I just have the screenshot of it. Was a beautiful statement talking about a fearless advocate for freedom and a supporter of Israel and the Jewish people. He was a friend. He spent a lot of time in Israel and also with our community in the United States. So just to piggyback, people can paint him with a very broad brush, as the girl did before, calling him a supremacist. But I wanted to share another minority community that is made up of white, brown, and Black people that are all part of our community. And he was a very, very good supporter. So I'm going to add that.
Thank you very much. And what we're going to do now, because we're OT, we're going to let everybody that hasn't had a chance to speak, and then we'll be moving you down, no disrespect. So let's go to Hanson. Hanson, you want to take a minute and any closing thoughts, or are you good, Hanson?
Almost, yeah. I mean, I'm pretty much good. But I'm just saying that the market would have taken care of all the transactions and pricing, and the government going in there with a systematic racist policy, it can only make things worse. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Hanson. Appreciate that. Next up, let's go Necro. Necro, did you closing thoughts? 60 seconds. We good? Necro.
Yeah, sorry, I wasn't listening.
That's okay, no problem.
I mean, I guess really it's like, to me, it's like, yeah, nothing really much from what I said earlier, other than basically that, it's like the same people who I've heard who have been saying that people should be in prison for celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk. Like, you have to remember, like, it's like that we celebrate the death of Nazis, the death of terrorists, and so the same, right that gives us to celebrate the death of our enemies, like, gives us to other people to celebrate the death. And yeah, it's like.
Thanks, Necro. Let's see. Steve Weed, did you want to say goodbye? Steve Weed.
Yeah, I just wanted to point out one thing about the pilot thing. I used to work for a Fortune 100 company, and I was the lead trainer and the senior operator of a very dangerous type chemical operation. And we had a DEI thing come in where people wanted to push this one particular person to start operating this plant, which had the capability to blow you to kingdom come. As the lead operator and chief trainer of the department, I warned them against it. They totally ignored my recommendation. Went on to push them through. We had explosion. Luckily, the explosion wasn't bad enough that no one got killed. People could have got killed, and they just totally ignored all the advice from the senior people. They told them that this person was unqualified to be behind the controls, and luckily, no one died from the incident.
Thank you, Steve. Appreciate that. Let's see next. JCS, you want to say goodbye?
Oh, yeah, thank you. You know, I certainly think that Charlie Kirk held some racist beliefs, but he was a paid reporter. That was his job to revoke. Some things have been taken out of text. I think he certainly gets to hear in saying that, you know, we all hold biases, and so some people take advantage and weaponize them, exploit opportunities. Yes, he did that, and it would be expected of someone in that role. So it doesn't really surprise me, but he certainly didn't deserve to be dead. I'm done.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Let's try Ron. Ron, did you want to say goodbye or hello or anything, or are you good? We're closing down the show. Ron, you unmuted a couple of times. I muted you in the past minute. Yeah, did you want to say goodbye or are you good?
Yeah, I just wanted to say thanks. I've been tuning in every couple of days to Clubhouse and been very disenchanted with the quality of the discussions. And this session rehabilitated all of Clubhouse for me.
Well, thank you. Appreciate that. It's good to have you back on board, and hopefully you'll come to the weekend show. I don't know if you've tried that, but Saturday and Sunday, going strong after 4.5 years, 7 to 10 a.m. PST. Love to have you. Thanks, Ron. And let's try Beaver. Beaver, do you want to say goodbye? Closing thoughts, Beaver? Beaver going once, Beaver going twice. Okay, Beaver. Well, thanks for joining us. Hope to see you again.
Leave it to Beaver.
Yeah, and I know I'm going to pronounce this wrong. You guys told me earlier. Jing, Zhang, Quang. Hi.
Hey.
Hey.
I just, I've been hearing parts of the conversation off and on, and I just, you know, I don't expect for people to feel things that don't impact them. I know that there are instances when they do and they respond to the full veracity or the full power that they have to organize and push back against people they don't agree with, even if whether they're being explicitly biased or not, that happens. But I just want to remind people to keep in mind, since we're about a generation removed, maybe 2 generations now removed from legal segregation, that if you review the record, even if you review the modern record, because these people still exist, when you hear people talk about their Black friends, even their Black children, right? We know that this is nothing new, that even in the deepest of southern towns, in the most segregated and virulently racist cities and towns, that people even would sleep with people that they would not have dinner with. They would be sharing literal blood relations and last names and all of these things. This is the American story. It is American history. And, you know, by the sounds of it, I think that a lot of people, because they haven't been taught that history, we forget that, yeah, you can have a Black friend and be a white supremacist. It's totally not only probable, it's totally feasible, probable, and all of that, because that's been the case since the beginning. I mean, you know, Black women nursed their slave owners' children. relations were that intimate when it comes to that.
Black slave women or their slave owners' children, such as Thomas. Please continue.
Exactly. So, I think that as a person who is a part of a marginalized group and have had to walk in this classification of myself all of my life in America, I will say that when I interact with people, and I would always withhold judgment until I hear how a person talks. Because, again, being that this is our history, we know the narratives, we know the tropes, we know the stereotypes. And so, sure, if I hear a political figure using the same tropes and narratives that were spewed by David Duke, for instance, I might make that association, right? If I hear the same tropes, and again, these tropes are the same, about affirmative action, about DEI, which is not an affirmative action program, and applies to veterans, it applies to neurodivergent people. DEI is nothing more than a mechanism to enable corporations or any type of institution, if they decide that diversity is a core value for them, it enables them to measure how effective they are in creating that culture in their workspace. It's basically a way to gather and interpret statistics about how closely you are to living your values as you are to just saying stuff, right? So, and that is DEI, literally. It came out of the corporate citizenship movement that was really big around the early 2000s, which I guess, fuck that, right? We don't care anymore. Again, perhaps never did, because
Are you sure that's where it came from? We don't have the time to go into where I think it came from, but are you sure? Okay, all right.
And I know that because I participate in several corporations that I've worked at. I've helped them, and I'm an engineer. I'm not an HR person, but I've had conversation with our C-suite officers about these programs.
I'm gonna give you 60 more seconds because we're
So empathy is putting yourself in somebody else's shoes, and so keep that in mind when you're hearing people talk about another person's capacity to do basic ass shit like fly planes and perform surgery and all of these other very like seriously, anybody can be mediocre, anybody can be an innovator, anybody can be proficient, period. And it has nothing to do with whether or not they've been excluded, because systematically that's the way a society performed. A lot of the engineers that are coming from India could not hold those positions because of marginalization that happens in India because of their caste system. It happens. It's life. So, let's be real when we talk about, how to interpret people's views and not, forget public figures, whether they're social media influencers or not. Call a thing a thing.
Thank you. And before we move on, want to remind everybody, I'm terribly sorry, I can't remember her name, but it was a black woman at the start of NASA that basically helped get them off the ground. Susanna, would you like a minute? Say goodbye. Susanna.
Sorry, still getting ready.
That's all right. That's okay, no problem.
I had a few questions for the last speaker, and they're rhetorical, but just if you are against DEI, does that make someone Does that make someone racist?
I will answer that for me. The answer is absolutely no. What's the next question from yours?
All right, thank you. And then the next one is, yes. Are we in the same place as we were in the year 2000?
I'll answer that one. In my humble opinion, the answer is no. Would you like to go 0 for 3 or 3 for 3?
No, I had a third one.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm blinking on what it was. Hold on, sorry. I wrote them down in the chat. Let me read it really quick.
You should have wrote them down on a Post-it.
Oh, and then the last one was, she mentioned how diversity is a core value. And I do think diversity is important, but not above and beyond merit and ability. So my last one was, is diversity a core value and merit and ability is not? I think diversity should not be a core value. It should be a secondary, not core value.
Thank you. I'm going to move you down, and then I'm going to answer that one too. You know, you don't qualify to be a fireman unless you can pull a 250-pound person out of a fire and safety. And for that matter, I don't care what the color of your skin is. I don't care if you're man or woman. If you can do it, you can do it. If I'm running a sales company and you're bringing me in millions of dollars in gross profit, I don't care what your skin color, religion, or whatever it is, as long as it doesn't interfere with business. But to answer your question, I always try and take everything in consideration. In fact, I'm having dinner with someone tomorrow, considering whether or not I want to recommend them to my boss for a job. Now, this is very important to me because if the boss likes her and he hires her, it's a star. It's a star for me. If the boss doesn't like her and wonders what the hell is Appel doing referring her to me for a job, then it makes me look bad. I'm going to take everything into consideration, not the color of her skin, not her religion, but how she grew up, what she's been doing lately, what we can hopefully expect from her in the future, but most importantly, how she communicates. Does she communicate with a 6th grade talking level, 5th grade, like Donald Trump? Or does she communicate like a college-educated, on-the-ball person, even if she didn't graduate college? I take everything into consideration. So in that respect, I'm pro-DEI. I'm not what was the other one that was meant? Affirmative action. I don't believe just because your skin color, you deserve an extra leg up. But if you take skin color, the way you were raised, what type of upbringing you have, and everything together at the start, then you left, you're here now. Would you like to say goodbye, Daryl?
Yeah, I wanted to say 2 things can be true as long as they don't contradict each other. As a matter of fact, up to 10 things, 100 things can be true as long as those 100 things don't contradict each other, right? So I'm going to specifically to Susanna. Some of the stuff that was happening in the chat, Susanna, you kept saying that certain things were facts, right? And you know, a fact, according to Merriam-Webster, is something that is known or proven to be true. And I don't think you understand that some of the things you were saying were not actually facts. They're just your opinions on things, particularly the idea that just seeing someone doing a certain job, the assumption that they got the job through DE&I is not a fact, no matter how many times you say it's a fact, right? And then Steve, who left the room, comes up with this lame thing about an explosion at a plant in West Virginia that has nothing to do with pilots. So I don't even understand what the point was. It's just the idea that I am stuck in my position. I'm going to do the best I can to defend my position. Facts be damned. That's all I wanted to say.
Trust me, when people accuse me of interrupting, when people accuse me of being rude, when people accuse me of having a low IQ, trust me, it has nothing to do with my skin color, my religion, or the fact that I'm an old white Jewish atheist. It's simply because they don't like Uncle Steve. And with that, let's go to JCC. Would you like to say goodbye?
Yeah, of course. Great room, great conversation, and so Steve looks for good oral skills in a female. That's what I got for what you were saying, man. I was like, damn, Steve, you go. No, man, I love these conversations in a great room. Sorry, there's a few sore suckers out there that get rubbed the wrong way or whatever, but that's gonna be the case, right? But great room.
This ain't no echo chamber, baby. We encourage everybody to talk, but when you talk, you open yourself up to some Uncle Steve. Abby.
Yeah. Last words.
Yeah.
Great room. I think that you have to look and take the temperature of the country. Yeah. And 77 million people elected the president that's in there now. And Charlie Kirk had a lot to do with it. Yep. I applaud the various ball teams around the country that did a tribute to him. And I applaud the different concert venues that did a tribute to him. And there's a lot of Americans that are feeling this. And it's not a political thing that they're feeling. Someone was assassinated, and it hurts, and it just wounds our nation. And that's what people are reacting to. And let's hope that we heal through this wound, and we never have to experience an assassination again.
I agree with very little of what Charlie Cook stood for, but I feel pain that he was assassinated. Last but not least, Scott Jones. Jonesy, are you there?
Uncle Steve, great room. Thank you for the plug. I think it is interesting though that, and one of the things that so much of the rhetoric, and this rhetoric like this on both sides, right? Yeah. But so much of the rhetoric in the Trump era has been own the libs, drink the liberal peers. Interesting. I think that's part of what made him that he played the hardball, that he mixed it up and could get pretty in your face about it.
Do you think that's part of what makes me popular? I mean, we've heard some of the critics, legitimately so. I interrupt, I raise my voice, I have a low IQ. Part of that make me popular?
Uncle Steve, so much makes you popular. And if you've never had the real life Uncle Steve experience, you're missing out. I'm going to go back this year to Casa de Papel, do some of the show live.
If any of you want to buy me a martini and sit down and talk with me for an hour, I promise I won't interrupt you as much as I do on the show,
He's the man. Uncle Steve, you're the man. Yeah, but it's just interesting. I find it. Charlie Kirk made his life as a provocateur, and I think it's interesting that sometimes his defenders want to say nothing he said was provocative. I mean, that's kind of an interesting dynamic. But great.
He was an expert at what he did. Let me tell you, it really, truly was. And with that, for those of you that haven't heard me before, I know a lot of you have. We do the regular show, 4.5 years going strong, Saturday and Sunday, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Ask Uncle Steve on Saturday. Ask the Atheist on Sunday. It's run completely different than this room. We have clips, we have breaks, we have fun, we have regulars that come in, and we always starting in with the song. But in this pop-up room, we just started up with dead air, and we end it with this room will self-destruct. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Be careful on the clubhouse streets.
Yeah, Harry, I sent you a better version of your PTR. It's more brighter.
So let's what's up? You came up. Let's hear it.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How was everything? How was the little girl? How's she doing?
She's good. She's almost 3.
4 now, no?
Almost 3.
Almost 3, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I lost 1 year on the way, 8 months, so it's everything different.
Yeah, thanks for asking. You here?
Thank you.
Hey guys.
Yeah.
Hey.
Abby. Shlomi, I'm going to be there. B'Shorosh. B'Acharei Rosh.
אחרי ראש?
כן. אחרי ראש. לפני יום, אחרי ראש.
אוקיי.
משם.
צריך למצוא זמן, אחרי סוכות ראשון אני flying to Prague.
Okay.
So we need to find it.
Where are you going?
Prague.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
America, Canada, anywhere.
What's the name of that synagogue in the Altanu? My Yiddish is not good. Altanu.
I don't know. I'm probably gonna visit it, and when I
Mystery of the Golem is in Prague.
Interested to read about it before I go. Like to be like with knowledge about the place when I see things.
How much time will you have there?
It's we are going like 6 couples. 5 of them are from the Otef of Gaza, like the surrounding kibbutzes of Gaza that survived the 7th of October, and I'm coming as a hostage that survived it. And it's also groups of treatment, a little bit of healing, and it's I think for 9 days, something like that.
Long enough. I'm going to send you a link. There's an amazing. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
There's an amazing castle. It's about 45 minutes from the city, and it's where the family who Ferdinand, I can't think of the shot that started World War I, that family lived, but the guy was the largest collector in the world of suits of armor, and also he has like the whole castle is lined with like tigers and bears and like just all the trophies from hunting. It's an extraordinary place. I'll find the link for it. But just the armor and the swords and the all the relics that are there are very cool. But it was the family of the guy who was killed that started World War I. Ferdinand something. I can't believe I can't think of the last name.
Yeah, Abby, here's the name for you. Could it be Gabriel Princip?
No. No. Who started who was the one that was shot? World War I.
Franz Ferdinand.
Around the world. Who?
Franz Ferdinand and Gabriel Princip was the shooter.
So that's his house.
Wait, were they friends?
No,
Franz Ferdinand.
Franz Ferdinand was Austrian prince, and Gabriel Princip was a Serbian nationalist.
But I'm seeing here that Gabriel Princip assassinated Archduke. He assassinated Franz Ferdinand.
Yes.
Heir presumptive to the throne of Austria-Hungary.
And where did
Franz Ferdinand was the Archduke.
It was in Sarajevo. I'm 90% sure.
Yes, the assassination was in Sarajevo. So I'm trying to connect it to the Prague castle that Abby is talking about. I don't know.
Which castle?
Is it? What, Abby, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Is it Ludwig?
What is that? I'm sure she's right. I was trying to be helpful when I said Gabriel Princip. I thought I was helping. But anyway, all right. Well, either way, it sounds cool. I mean, it's 45 minutes south near Prague.
I've never seen anything like this in all my travels in Europe. I'm like thinking about this. This place is crazy. Just what the guy collected.
I'm Googling this.
Was it in the middle of the forest?
Huh?
Was it in the middle of the forest in a very high, I would say, place, or?
It's in like a little town. It's actually a cute town to like then after you tour it, you go have lunch.
Okay, here we go. The most prominent collection of arms and armor near Prague is found at Lobkowicz Palace, located within Prague Castle itself. This private collection is one of the oldest and finest in Europe, has 1,200 pieces from the 16th to the 20th century, including guns, cannon, armor, and mounted trophies. I don't know, it sounds like there's a lot to do there. Castle.
All the stuff that he shot, there's all these bears and tigers. The taxidermy is insane in this book.
Sounds cool. Sounds like a great trip, Swami.
Yeah, I'm looking forward. It's something that we wanted to do, and we're doing also.
Yeah.
To go to Prague to see Prague. It's a beautiful place anyway.
No, I've been hearing about Prague forever. I've never been. Sounds amazing.
City, unbelievable. For a country that helped so much in the founding of the state of Israel, and they've just always been supportive. Did you ever see Nancy Spielberg's movie Above and Beyond?
No.
It's about the founding of the Israeli Air Force and how these pilots that were U.S. veterans from World War II started the Air Force there, and they smuggled planes and pieces of fuselage, pieces of planes, and there are certain countries they were able to use to get the equipment into Israel, and Czechoslovakia was one.
Did you ever see the movie Cast a Giant Shadow?
Oh my God.
Douglas.
God. Did I love that movie?
Yes. Yeah, that is a movie about a guy named Mickey Marcus, Colonel Mickey Marcus, an American Jewish colonel, came over to Israel to help start it.
He built the Burma Road, which is really. Have you ever taken a Jeep ride on the Burma Road? It's pretty cool to do.
Yeah.
It's neat, but Frank Sinatra was in that movie.
Yeah, it's like an all-star movie from the 60s. It's a biopic. It's a movie about this guy, Mickey Marcus. His full name was David Michael Marcus, and Kirk Douglas played him. And they got Frank Sinatra, John Wayne. All the cameos in this movie are insane. You remember there would be two movies like that. They would have like huge actors in small parts. Yul Brynner, John Wayne, Frank Sinatra. I forgot who else. A lot of small parts in this movie.
A trivia thing about that movie, because I heard you too. It was the first movie Michael Douglas had like a bit part in.
Oh my God! Wow, Michael Douglas is in it too. Wow. Now I'm pulling it up. I think it's time to remake that movie. Angie Dickinson. Yeah.
Oh my God, I forgot she was in it too. It was a really amazing cast.
Yeah, it's time to remake it. Directed, Melville Shavelson. I never heard of him for anything else. See if we have anyone. Oh, Topol. Topol is in it. That may be it. I mean, there's a bunch of other names. I don't recognize them. But right there, that's like 8 big names from the U.S. or plus Topol. Yeah, Michael Douglas is in here, uncredited. He plays a Jeep driver. About the movie Exodus.
Guys, I thought about something now that if the Palestinians are claiming every time that there are Jewish settlements inside their territory, so-called West Bank, that in every day they live among and they drive in the same roads. And let's say if we make peace, why they want those people that live there when they lived with them until now, like in a peaceful way, and they live together, village by village. want them out from the territory because they are Jewish. So I can claim the same thing about the Arab villages that I have in my country because they are Arabs. Like this is anti-cleansing, like from a place, like they're literally will kick us out from, kick those people out from their land because they are Jewish. So why I cannot do it at the same time when they are doing that for villages in Israel that are Muslim Arabs? But no, we are on high levels of laws on the world, and they are allowed to do anything they want.
What are we hearing about the other hostages? And I heard in the last 48 hours about trying to use them as shields. The Trump meeting.
Maybe I'm not going to sleep because of that. And, no, it's hard for me. And then Buttercup came here, and when we had a discussion, and she pulled me in, and for 2 hours of speaking, and I lost my sleep. Also, now I'm trying to go sleep again.
Go to sleep.
It's almost 5 a.m.
Salome, get some sleep. Get some sleep. And I hope that everyone has now seen the face of Buttercup, and it's enough already.
It's not about Buttercup, it's more the hostages. And like I said,
I know, but we don't need her to make it worse.
That's right.
No, I've asked that question.
She's not a good faith actor. She's not acting in good faith.
Let me answer Abby, Randy. It's not the subject, and we don't care. Let's move on for now. I just mentioned about my sleeping. It's okay.
You're gonna be sleeping the whole day. I know. I am going to sleep.
So Abby, anyways, it's like I said earlier, until I don't know if it's not the operation that they released me. I was still there, and I don't know how it with my wife, my father, my mother, my sisters, my others said for girls. Nieces, 2 nieces, beautiful nieces that I have, and the rest friends of and family that will feel when they know that it's probably the end. And it's taking a lot of thinking and praying inside to hear good news on the way when they're going in to find hostages and taking them back home alive. And I hope that Hamas will say, okay, let's stop, let's make a real deal that will be good for both sides, because there is the Israeli country also, and there is the people of the hostages, the life of the hostages and the lives of the soldiers on the battlefield. So we will stop this war, because also I'm worried about those people. There are families that are worried also about their children that are in the battlefield. It's not only the hostages. The hostages have the chance to die more than a soldier in the battle. Like, it's not comparable, but still there are families that also are worried about them that are in the battlefield. So it's so complicated. And as I say, when they're asking me after I do tell my story to people when I'm going and lecturing it, that I'm glad it's not me that have to decide between lives of people, of hostages, of soldiers in the battlefield, and the states of Israel on the scales. I'm happy I'm not the one to take the decision for it, because it's a hard decision, and to make my opinion in it, it's hard also because I don't know what's on the table for real. But I know that anyway, lives of people are on the stake, like from here and there. There's the hostages and if there's the soldiers. So to end the war as soon as possible and just to give us our people back, that's what I want. My friends that are still dead, that I know personally, and the rest that are still alive, that I don't know personally. And that's it. We will end this fucking nightmare that is also already 2 years. Like, it's a nightmare. It's a big nightmare.
Thank you for the answer.
I have to leave you, lovely, to all of you, and you have a tough cordless man. I appreciate you.
Grace, if you're leaving.
Thank you. It's not about
Oh, my Abby, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It's about Israel. It's about the country.
Where is Abby?
It's about us.
You can mud me
I'm
if you want to keep the room open.
Yeah, please. Yes? Did I make the right one?
Perfect. Shlomi,
No problem.
it's good to hear you, Shlomi. I'm glad you came in here. Please.
Yes. Shlomi.
Come
Let me
again.
try to get some sleep.
Yeah.
I will smoke another joint.
All right, if you can't.
Okay, Shlomi. Do what you have to. Thank
Tell me
you
we're
for
still
sharing.
here if you want to talk.
Love it, Tov, Shlomi. Thank you.
Good
Tודה
night.
רבה.
Good night. Good night.
Abby, you're out.
I'm going to be in, where the restaurants are here. It's pretty noisy where I'm about to walk into. So I'll be a little bit in my car ride. And Caleb in the audience, how about those Phillies?
Did they win?
We're just talking. They're going to go in the postseason. I mean, it's a good time to be a Philly sports fan. The last few years.
The thing of the paddocks is it's gonna happen, or it's gonna be like a.
The race?
No, the race. I know that I'm gonna go to the race anyways. Like,
We're starting to build again. We rip it down every year, and then we put. It's the craziest thing, and then we put things back, and now we rip stuff down again, and we put up all these stands and build it back up again.
Okay.
What were you asking?
I'm asking if it will be the paddocks or like a regular one.
That's what I'm hoping is the paddock. Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, I will enjoy it, Abby.
Yeah, I mean the paddocks are the thing that it's multi-level. So yes, I most certainly think that's where it'd be. Other than there, it would be at one of the properties, right along the track.
Yeah, I know. I saw how it goes. Like, I'm really like you are with hockey and with F1. I'm a big fan of it.
Do you know? It's a funny story. You know the guy who was right after October 7th, because you didn't know this. He was on the news in the U.S. every day. Kornikas, from the Sachal, Kornikas, Jonathan Kornikas. So he would be on CNN and on Fox as the go-to spokesman of Sachal. when I met him, the same time I went to New York, where Adele is, before the 7th, the June before, and we were going. Our team was going into the Stanley Cup, and we were all over there during the playoffs. It was making us crazy. We had at 4 o'clock in the morning find places we could watch the game that would, televise it. So we're talking to him. He took us into the tunnels. There was a tunnel that they opened, and they would bring a lot of media and people from other countries near not far from Beirut. But anyway, he took us in there, and we're talking to him, and I didn't know he was from Sweden originally, and he was an ice hockey player. And we started to learn about all these ice hockey players in Israel. Obviously a lot from Russia that had immigrated, but it's become a popular sport. And up near you, I think, Shlomi, there's a ice rink.
Wow, great story, Abby. Sucker must be really bored.
I don't know, Harry, you know about it.
I don't think Harry's here, Abby. Like he's here, but he's not here.
Anyway, ice hockey's become popular there. But do you know what I'm talking about?
Fuck, Abby. Nobody cares.
He was a spokesman for the idea.
Get a life.